What up? What up? What up? It's Rec League Podcast, man. My name is Randy Little. This is episode 40. I was feeling a little off, a little ill a couple weeks ago. That was supposed to be episode 40 a couple weeks ago. This was supposed to be episode 41. But it is what it is, and we here right now. I hope you guys are on the social medias, following the Rec League on social medias, man. At Rec League Podcast on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, at Rec League Pod on Twitter. Be sure to check us out over there. This is one of the most special, man. 40 episodes. This is probably the most special, without a doubt. Let me rephrase. Without a doubt, the most special episode that I've ever put together, man. For movies, me and my guy E-Sig, we take my wife's idea about putting 5 movies in a time capsule. You know what I'm saying? You've seen like Captain Planet, Power Rangers, those old 90s TV shows. You put something in a time capsule, bury the time capsule. It gets discovered in 50 and 100 years by the future generations, and you school them on what history is. You know what I mean? But yeah, like maybe I should have went back to the 90s because it's a really long segment. It's a really long and fun conversation because we had so many different types of movies. Like it's an interesting mix of picks. You know what I mean? And then I was gonna get my guy International O to get on sports with me, talk about the draft, the NFL draft, talk about the Last Dance, whatever. But he had connection issues, so he's not gonna be on. I might give y'all a few minutes of sports because there's a little there's nothing going on, but there's a little bit going on. Bars. I always have bars. I try to spit y'all some bars every episode. And then for the hip hop segment, instead of reviewing JonConnor's SOS album, me and old man Lawrence, not even really interview, man. We got JonConnor on this episode, and we talk about his album SOS. I hope you guys are bumping it because it's one of the best albums of the year, and we talk about life, man. We talk about the album, and we talk about life. We talk about what he's been doing during quarantine, and we just have a fun discussion. Like I told him, like I'm telling y'all, like I'm still in disbelief that dude was humble enough to reply and agree to jump on the pod with us. And I hope y'all enjoy what we talk about and what we put together. Before we do the time capsule discussion, I got the recent releases to kick y'all. And recently to stream, to rent, VOD. However you get your movies, however you were able to watch Trolls World Tour, hopefully you can get on and watch Capone, directed by Josh Trank, his first movie since Fantastic Four 5 years ago. And then the new Warner Animation Group release, Scoob, is also available. If you guys want to catch my review for that, head over to my personal Randy Little YouTube channel. Watch my review for Scoob. And recently released on Blu-ray and DVD, you got Bloodshot, Gretel and Hansel. You got this past Tuesday, Birds of Prey, Call It a While, Fantasy Island. The Photograph came out. This upcoming Tuesday, a whole just slew of releases come out, man. Just to name a few, The Boy 2 comes out, Downhill with Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Emma, Fear the Walking Dead Season 5, Justice League Dark Apocalypse War comes out, Onward, Sonic the Hedgehog, and The Way Back come out. And then the Tuesday before the next episode, The Invisible Man comes out, like one of the best movies of the year so far. The Invisible Man comes out on Blu-ray and DVD. Stay tuned, man. It's a long-ass episode. If you're on YouTube, you got timestamps, so you can watch the movie segment, or you can watch the JonConnor interview, or you can listen to them bars, because you know I'm about to kill it. And if you're listening on Anchor, I don't know if you can go segment to segment, so you just might have to, drag the cursor and fast forward. So stay tuned. We about to get into this right quick. It is Rec League, baby. Rec League, movies, and like I was telling my man E-Sig, off wax, I missed 2 weeks ago. I was feeling a little under the weather. Plus, it was my only day off, so I was like straight Garfield mode. I didn't feel like doing nothing. And it feels like we ain't been on it forever. And especially since the world is so stagnant, like Sig said, off wax again. Ain't nothing going on. It just feels like we ain't been here to chop it up with y'all in quite some time. Since last time we was even on, I think Trolls World Tour done came out on VOD. Capone came out on VOD last week. Scoob just came out this past weekend. Were you able to watch any of those? Are you like me and Nick? Like me and Nick is like a new movie, man. We gotta see it just to you know what I'm saying, feel like something's happening.
Yeah, and me, I guess my little my stubbornness is getting to me. I'm still trying to cope with no movie theaters,
man,
and these new releases.
It's been 2 months since anybody in the whole united world of Earth has been inside a Cineplex. And like, I miss it, but I'm not going as crazy as I thought I would.
Yeah, that's true. It's yeah, but now to answer your question, no, I didn't catch any of those three.
I'm 39 years old. I don't watch cartoons.
No, I'm talking especially Capone. I'm really probably waiting on that one.
Yeah, like I was waiting for DirecTV to get it, but I think it's on Amazon Prime. So maybe not this next week, because that Justice League Dark Apocalypse War is coming, and I'm gonna do a review for that next weekend, if not Tuesday. I'll get to Capone probably before June. I wanted to hit like.
You know what? One thing, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good?
Guess what schedule that was on? That Justice League animated movie.
What schedule?
Yeah, think about it. You know what I mean? I put you on the spot.
What schedule was Justice League Dark Apocalypse War on?
Yeah, the new DC animated movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you overthinking it, but
man, I don't know.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Phantom Events.
Word, they were gonna release that theatrically.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Because I know most of those I don't get when they first come out, because they literally come out the day after that one date.
Yeah.
In theaters, and I always go see most of them. Yeah, I remember they had the 2-in-1. I think The Reign of Superman, that was a double build with the other one, The Death of Superman.
Yeah. They I don't know, like Killing Joke hit, because like Killing Joke was a big thing. It was their first R-rated. They put it in theaters. Mark Hamill, Kevin Conroy coming back. And then they did the next couple, and then like I stopped hearing about the DC animated Fathom releases.
Yeah, they were sneaking them out, but they weren't as popular because, like you said, A Killing Joke was the Killing Joke, so that was the most popular one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but I feel like I want to get your reaction to the King of Staten Island trailer, but I feel like there was like one other like news topic I wanted to hit on, and now I don't know if it was New Mutants has another placeholder release date, or if it was The Purge getting delayed, or I don't remember. But King, what'd you think of the trailer? I'm more I'm more excited because it's Judd Apatow. Like I told you, I think on the IG Messenger, like I'm not even a big Pete Davidson fan.
Pete Davidson, yeah.
I don't know. He's just not that funny to me. Hopefully, King of Staten Island like changes my mind.
Yeah. And he's what's funny about Pete Davidson is a running joke. I'm still one of the few people, even before this pandemic, that actually watched SNL on a regular. There's a running joke that he doesn't get to show up in a lot of skits and leading roles. And since the pandemic started, they were doing live Saturday Night Live from home, and he's had some of the best sketches during those that format. Yeah, and he could be, I guess, what would you call him, an acquired taste?
Yeah. He was in What Men Want with Taraji, and maybe it was that, I really didn't like him in that. He was super obnoxious, and there was something else. I don't know, and even Apatow. It's like 40-Year-Old Virgin is arguably a comedy classic. Knocked Up is arguably a comedy classic, but then his next movies, Funny People, This Is 40, even Trainwreck are hit or miss for a lot of people, and his movies get like progressively longer and way more dramatic. So it's like I have no idea what to expect with this movie. I really like the trailer though.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
You wrong.
It's like why does This Is 40 have to be a 2 hour and 20-minute movie?
Exactly. I'm surprised it wasn't 40 minutes, 2 hours and 40 minutes.
He started Apatow is real long-winded. I didn't look up the running time for The King of Staten Island, but the trailer looks good.
But it's long too. Like it's over 2 hours.
Yeah, that's nuts. I guess that's just Apatow style, and he has that muscle to get Final Cut.
Yeah, like I think like he's got a long like if you look at like I guess if you like maybe since like the early 90s like make like a comedy spiderweb, somehow like every comedian that's like hit big his like guy has a connection to Apatow.
Yeah, that's funny how that works.
So he's written some stuff.
But I can tell you this, I know you actually participated in a Q&A that I had. I did a Q&A on movies that made you cry.
I did.
And and Apatow, he
commented?
No, I wish he did. No, but he has a thing with hitting you out of left field with a heavy drama. And I mentioned he did it in Trainwreck and a couple of other movies, but watch this trailer for King of Staten Island, you could tell that movie is gonna go there because
and I don't see like my upbringing, like what I answered on your poll for your pod, like my upbringing and my family dynamic like played heavy into how I reacted to that movie that I answered, and I'm wondering. Like, I never, like, the way it looks King of Staten Island is going to go, like, I feel like it's going to hit me, but I don't think it's going to hit me in that way. Like, I'm just going to be like, damn, like that sucks. Like, and I feel like it's going to be 9/11. I don't think it's going to be, like, a random fire. I think it's going to be 9/11.
Yeah, that seems the route that they're going. But, no, I like, I'm curious about it. It'll be probably one of the few...
I'm trying to think now. Like 40-Year-Old Virgin didn't get like 40-Year-Old Virgin was straight comedy.
Yeah. Knocked
Up had its dramatic moments, and then Funny People was just like Adam Sandler's Sick. Boom.
Yeah.
And was This Is 40 was a little more drama than comedy too.
Yeah. And so I'm gonna say for this one I'll give one away. Trainwreck. There's a subplot with minor spoiler. There's a subplot with her father.
I thought you was going to say LeBron James. LeBron James!
Don't get me started on him. But yeah, Trainwreck, he threw that subplot in there. And, well, technically Amy Schumer threw it in.
I'm about to say, didn't she write it?
Yeah. But yeah, that was, but yeah, he could do it, and he balances drama and comedy real well. And I think, I'm curious to see what he's going to do with that.
And see, like that too. I think we talking about Judd Apatow and King of Staten Island way too much, but I think you froze. Nah, there you go.
Yeah.
I feel like the reception to like Funny People and This Is 40 like got like progressively lower and lower as far as like maybe Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. Critical reaction, fan reaction just might not have been as high as his first two movies. So now I feel like he's just chilling. And, like, when an up-and-coming comic, like, wants to reach out and do their own movie, like, for whatever reason, he takes that on.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I ain't mad at it.
Yeah, not too bad, yeah. But when is it the release date for that?
The 12th. See, that's going to be a busy weekend, man, because Spike dropping the Five Bloods on Netflix that same day.
Yeah.
And the trailer for that's supposed to come out next week.
Yeah, and... And hopefully, we'll get to see, plot-wise, why Chadwick Boseman looked like somebody done stripped him from the power of the Black Panther.
I hope, man.
'Cause, yeah.
Forrest Whitaker done took all of that power back. Let me see. Forrest Whitaker has been around for a minute. I'm trying to find a smooth segue into this list, and I can't have it because I don't know if he was in Apocalypse Now or not. They came out in the 70s. But let me see. Wasn't his first movie was like Fast Times or something like that?
That was his first official role, if I'm not mistaken. His first speaking role. Well, he didn't talk that much, but yeah.
That was 83, and my wife come up like a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago. Like my wife has like all of the ideas for the topics in the movie segment in the pandemic. So she was like, what if it was like a time capsule, and you pick 5 movies from each decade, and then you bury that time capsule. Like we all seen like Power Rangers, Captain Planet, something way back. Like you want the future to remember something from the past. So, and they dig it up in 100 years or whatever. Like Robert Rodriguez directed a movie that ain't nobody about to see until like 2115 supposedly. And I was like, okay, this is cool. This is a fun idea. So we could go all the way back to the 70s because I can't tell you if I've ever seen a movie that come out in the 60s. And then it ended up being too long anyway.
Right.
So if you want to start off with your list from the 70s, what 5 movies would you put away for the future to see, and then no other movies from that decade exist? I don't remember if she said that, but I just added it.
I got you. So we going back and forth from counting 5 down, or? All right. So,
I mean, mine ain't really in order. I just got 5 movies. But yeah, we can go back and forth.
Cool. Kind of the same here, but
I feel like our 70s are going to be eerily similar.
We'll see with this first one. I wonder if you got this one on your list. But as you know a little bit about me, this one is no surprise. Into the Dragon.
Oh, yeah. I didn't have that one.
1973, Bruce Lee's last official movie, fully finished movie. Game of Death will come out in 78, but that's just a little bit of footage that he shot for a movie he wouldn't have completed. But yeah. Right. So Into the Dragon, classic. One of the best martial art movies ever, is getting a nice pristine re-release from Criterion in July, and just Jim Kelly, John Saxon, Bruce, one of the best at it. The template for Mortal Kombat, the tournament, but yeah, Into the Dragon is number 5 for me.
I have a John Saxon movie on my 80s list.
I know what that one is.
You already know.
But yeah, but that's number 5 for me. Yeah.
Okay, your other 4 are gonna look similar to mine.
All right.
Now, keep going. Do your whole 70s.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we'll alternate decades.
So number 4. Actually, for number 4, I knocked off another movie by this director to put this one on there. This one, like you said, you only had 5 movies to watch, and you're on that island or whatever, right?
Nah, you gonna bury it.
Steven Spielberg.
You gonna bury that shit, and then they gonna dig it up. I'm not going to no island.
Oh, there you go. but yeah, I think this movie, Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Over Jaws?
And over Jaws, which is a tad controversial. You got that look in your face. And although Jaws is a great movie, I love Jaws, but it's just something about I rewatched both of them recently.
I mean, I ain't mad.
Jaws has
Close Encounters take place in Indiana. Like, we can write Close Encounters till the wheels fall off.
That's true. And yeah, it's just something. 2 great movies, but I think Close Encounters is a tad underrated. It unfortunately came out the same year as another huge movie that might or might not be on one of our lists, but yeah, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I will have to put that one in that time capsule.
I ain't going front. I underrated.
Yeah, definitely, and it holds up in plenty of ways. man, performance-wise, special effects-wise, it's a really unique movie to describe why you love it. Yeah, I can't say that much about it. Yeah, people are gonna look at me crazy putting this over Jaws, but that's my number 4. So, next is one of the best horror slashers ever.
We finally have a
This
match.
movie, what you say?
You finally have a movie that I have on mine.
All right. So,
unless you say Texas Chainsaw.
No, it's not Texas Chainsaw. It's probably the same one you picked. No, but this movie, if it didn't invent the popular tropes that we know that all slasher movies have, and it definitely made them popular. This is probably the third ever slasher movie.
A movie on my 90s list was watched, like the movie you about to say that's on my 70s list was watched by a character in a movie on my 90s list.
That's neat. So anyway, I didn't even say the name of the movie. The name of the movie is Don't Look Now.
Then I'm completely wrong, and I know you pulling my leg.
No, but the movie for real, my number 3 is Halloween, John Carpenter's 78 classic, and it still holds up to this day.
Yeah, it does.
And yeah, that's what more can I say about that you don't already know? But so yeah, Halloween. And the next one, this should be obvious. We probably had this one on both our list. So I'm saying the original title. All right, not that after the fact stuff. Star Wars.
I'm about to say you about to have one or two on mine. Ain't about to be on yours, and I got like all the 70s classics on mine.
But no, Star Wars. And what I meant by that, not Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Star Wars, how it came out.
Right.
In 1977.
In 1977, if the commercials in the newspapers would have said Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, people wouldn't have seen it. What is this? Why is it? Where's Episode 1?
Yeah. But no, definitely Star Wars. Another movie that, what can I say that y'all don't already know? It's classic. And this one is, even though the list isn't an official top 5, but this one would be my number 1 list. My number 1 on the top 5 list, and that's The Godfather Part 2. So, one of the most awesome, best movies ever made in any genre. Great directing, great writing, great acting.
It's unoriginal. It's a sequel.
Yes, it's technically one of the.
Let me get my water.
It's one of the few. I don't know if it's one of the first sequels, but it's definitely one of the first popular sequels to be released. And it's also at the same time a prequel, which is interesting.
Was The Godfather 2 one of the first sequels ever?
No, not one of the first sequels ever. One of the first popular sequels.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely not one of the first sequels. One of the first popular, like, this is part 2 to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When people did straight out said it, and but no, yeah, a prequel and a sequel at the same time, which has got to be one of the first to do that.
Frenzo was my favorite character.
But no, what's that?
Said Frenzo was my favorite character. That's an inside joke.
Yeah, if y'all want to know about that, message one of us because it's worth.
Y'all ain't in the group chat. That's an inside joke.
But no, that's my 5 from the 70s. Let's put that in the time capsule.
All right, my 70s again. Star Wars. So you if you talking about the 70s and you leave out Star Wars, I don't know what you would have added. Man, like what? Like, I mean, it put on Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, George Lucas, and Darth Vader instantly became like one of the coolest villains of all time. And then one that I'm surprised you ain't say, Rocky.
Oh yes.
Nah, you can't go back now.
No.
Can't go back now. Like, arguably one of the best boxing movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Next I got Halloween. I'm gonna put it like this. I had The Godfather Part 2, and I bumped it because I was like, oh shit, Halloween came out in the 70s. And one of my all-time favorite horror movies, period.
Yeah.
Next, I got The Godfather, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's classic. It's classic.
Yeah, it is.
One of the greatest mafia movies of all time. I just watched it last summer. And then last, I put Alien, the first one.
That's a good one. That's a good pick. And I fought with that one. I bumped that one for.
I don't know if I prefer it over Aliens, but I put it. It's damn near Ridley Scott best movie, arguably. To Blade Runner, Gladiator. I mean, he got so many good movies. So I'm waiting for us to have like, I know we just did one decade, but we got like 4 more to go. So I'm waiting for us to have like that list. Like the more recent the list, like the more it's not gonna match up. My over under is 2 similarities for the 80s. So go ahead and start.
The 80s, oh man. So I'm gonna start this off, and I guess like you said, we putting these movies in the time capsule. How I tried to do it is get one movie from different genres at least, or at least genres that aren't too similar to the other.
That's kind
so
of
for
what
the
I
80s, did. And I kind of wish I can't go back now, but we'll get back to that.
What's done is done.
So for the 80s, this just reminded me of a movie I could have put in the 70s. So
sorry, dog.
For the 80s, my first movie is a musical. And one of the best musicals ever. And when I name it, you're going to be like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know where you're going. Yeah, I had to think for a second, but I know where you're going.
This is the movie that people who don't like musicals, they love this movie. So even I hate musicals, but I love this. I swear. I heard that.
Shit. A dude that's in the movie you about to name is in a movie that isn't on my list, but now I wish I would have put it.
I think I know who you talk. Oh yeah, that's not on my list.
Damn.
If we thinking about the same thing,
we gotta be.
So Little Shop of Horrors.
Rick Moranis.
Starring Rick Moranis. And yeah.
Damn.
Shit.
Neither one of us put Ghostbusters. Damn.
No, yeah, we definitely talk about Ghostbusters.
All 5 of my movies are special as fuck, though.
Yeah. But now, Little Shop of Horrors, I think, is one of the best musicals ever. And it's the reason, like, people who don't like musicals love this movie. It's just...
Can't wait for the Chris Evans remake.
And I would also... Oh, yeah. I can't wait for that. That's... But an asterisk by this, I wouldn't put the theatrical version in. I'm going to put the director's cut with the original ending in the time capsule. So, but no, this is one of my favorite movies ever. And little trivia on this movie, you said my age earlier. And this is the earliest movie that I can remember seeing in theaters.
That's dope.
And I have vivid memories of seeing this in a movie theater. In 1986, I would have been young.
Shit, I was in the playpen. Yeah, the first movie I remember seeing in theaters ain't even on my list. It could, it couldn't have been. It couldn't have been though.
Cool. So let me run through this. I'm spending too much time on one movie. Next movie is Die Hard.
Fun fact about Die Hard.
What's
not
that?
On my list.
Oh, you said it's not?
Nah. I'll explain why when I get to mine.
Cool. And I think I know where you're going because Die Hard came out. I mean, the 80s were. I don't want to name these other movies, but one of these other movies is probably on your list. It's the 80s was on, for lack of a better phrase, on steroids when it came to action movies. So Die Hard is so many other movies that you can't be disappointed that you left off and that you put on. And hopefully one of those movies I got in mind is on your list. But now Die Hard is my number 4.
We 0 for 2 right now.
So next movie is we talked about sequels a couple of minutes ago. So next
We
movie
0 for
is
3.
Empire Strikes Back. It's a 3 for 3. Or so Empire Strikes Back. Well, not 3 for 3, but we got three of the same.
Nah.
Empire Strikes Back. Some people consider to be one of the best sequels ever.
Yeah.
And a lot of people still consider it to be the best Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think this is the movie you mentioned. We knew Darth Vader was a badass the first moment we seen him.
Yeah.
But I think this is the movie that made Darth Vader Darth Vader. You know, force choking people to death, and just walking through in a lightsaber fight, which I think is one of the best lightsaber fights in the series.
Yeah, without question. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, but that's that one. Next movie, moving down fast, is we were talking about movies that make you emotional and hit you a certain way. So this movie, 1989 movie, just making a list. Do the Right Thing.
I recently watched it.
Yeah, and speaking of Do the Right Thing, if I could just
reach my Criterion flex right quick.
Right, man. I think Criterion is having a sale. This is happening to be over there. Y'all definitely got to get this. This is a hell of a package. It's like normally $50, so you could drop that 25. But anyway, yeah.
Let me show it again.
Yeah, right here. Oh.
Yeah, Spike is on IG, like trying to slang them right quick, like limited copies. I'll sign them. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep, there we go. Woo. But no, Do the Right Thing. Just excellent movie.
My bad. The manager of my guest for the hip hop segment was trying to confirm, so I couldn't see your first initial flex. Look at me. Did Bamboozle come out already?
You mean at that point in time?
No, I'm talking about right now on Criterion.
Oh, you mean yeah, it just came out. I don't know if it's yeah, it is Criterion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that recently came out. But yeah, so now Do the Right Thing, one of the most awesome dramas ever. And one of the probably the best performance by Danny Aiello.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah, who recently unfortunately just passed away
Man,
a few months back, if not closer to a year.
I'm gonna start some beef with us, but watching it,
Uh-oh.
Do you think that Mookie did the right thing?
Yeah, and that's but you know what? That's the conversation that the movie wants us to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would go with a short answer. Yeah. See, there you go.
We about I'm torn. Like the movie was so dope, but it's like Sal, it's Sal's pizzeria. He determines what goes on the wall. So Giancarlo Esposito bugging out. I feel like he ain't had no room to try to say Sal, you gotta decorate how I want, and then he don't want no noise. Like Radio Raheem was that dude. Love, hate. You posted this still the other day, and so the radio should have been turned down in spot, and then the fight broke out, and then it was broken up, and then the cops did what the cops did. So I don't think that should fall on Sal. So I don't think Mookie did the right thing. But like you said, that's the conversation.
Yeah, but like you said, that the whole movie, figuratively and literally, is boiling up to that point. It's and like you said, you go back and forth.
Yeah.
About how you can bugging out, probably not the most articulate person in the movie, but to some degree probably had a point. But then again, you go back, this is Sal's shop.
Yeah.
But then again, Sal's shop is in a certain neighborhood. But yeah,
that's facts.
But there's a reason that Spike Lee's script was nominated for an Oscar and such. It has you raise these questions. But yes, Do the Right Thing, get it on Blu-ray. Criterion.
That's one of my earliest Blu-rays. That's one of my earliest Blu-rays.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, like I bought that.
Out of all, man.
I started collecting Blu-rays in like 2009. So yeah, I probably got that 2009, 2010. I don't even think I had moved back down here when I bought it.
Oh, wow. That's a heck of a memory. And out of all the 2,100,850 movies that you own.
Hey, be cool. You know I don't own that many movies. No, but I got my collection posted on Instagram in the order that I bought my movies. Cause how else you gonna do it on IG? So yeah, like it takes me back to like what it came around that time. So like, yeah, it's a filing cabinet of useless information.
Useless but useful. If that makes sense.
So was that 3 or 4?
No, that was number 2. Yeah, that's 3 we got together, I think. And the last one for the 80s for me is 35th anniversary's coming up. 1985.
Okay, we got one
small budget movie.
We got one match. I was wrong.
Uh-oh.
we got one match.
So this movie little.
This movie has come up so many times on this show.
Yeah, that's true. And you got to keep the trend going. But last movie for me, you can't talk 80s without talking Back to the Future.
An American Tale.
Talk about underrated movies. Yeah, that's... Oh, man, I don't have any. Speaking of which, no animated movies so far. But yeah.
I don't either.
So, no, definitely Back to the Future. That has to go in there. That's one of the...
in all of these movies, I have one animated movie.
Ooh. I think I have one coming into the 90s. But, yeah, that's animated. So, yes, that is my list. Little Shop of Horrors, Die Hard, Empire, Do the Right Thing, and Back to the Future.
All right. My 80s. I'm going like bottom to top. And they're alphabetical. Like, it ain't no specific ranking. My 80s.
Look at that.
Like, the movie.
Was awesome, yeah.
Like Hercules in New York. Conan. They cool. But this movie, Sarah Connor, is what put Arnold Schwarzenegger on. Like, this is a horror movie. Sci-fi action, all you will, in a club. The original Terminator is a horror movie. And I'm in the minority of enjoying it a little minutely, however many 0.0002% you want to put it. I enjoy this movie a little more than the second one.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to talk controversy.
But the thing is, a lot of people, that speaks to the genius of James Cameron. You can't fault you for that. And I think Terminator 2, we speak Empire. Terminator 2 might be the perfect sequel.
Yeah, without question.
Yeah, but one more thing. I'm sorry for your Terminator movie. So little funny fact. You mentioned Conan, right?
Yeah, with Jason Momoa.
So no, that doesn't exist. That's Crystal Skull right there.
I just rewatched Fantastic Four that nobody likes. Eventually, I'm gonna watch this Conan that nobody likes.
But it's a little funny fact. So 2 Conan movies with Arnold came out in the 80s. The second one came out the same year as the Terminator, and that was Destroyer, Conan the Destroyer.
Yeah, I was just thinking as soon as my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off. But as soon as he got out of office, like a sequel to all his classic joints was rumored, and we got umpteen Terminators, and what else? There was like some other shit that was rumored, but then there was like King Conan. It's gonna ignore the Jason Momoa and be the 3rd chapter of Schwarzenegger's Conan movies, and I don't think that shit's coming.
Yeah, no, they actually they scrapped that because
word.
Genesis didn't do well. Terminator Genesis.
No shit.
Yeah. So they felt, I guess, Arnold wasn't a draw or whatever. But
What?
no, that little thing. So yeah, he, which is probably now they should have just left it alone after 2. But
Yep.
no, so uh, Arnold, he was filming the Terminator and Conan the Destroyer at the same time.
Word.
And he accidentally kept his Terminator boots when he went to the Conan set. And somebody asked him a question. They were like, "What's up with those boots?" And Arnold, and he said, "Oh, these are for some shit little movie I'm doing for the money."
No.
Yeah. But
That's
we
hilarious.
all seen what it became.
I need your clothes and your motorcycles.
But now Terminator, that's a great pick. It's just so many.
Yeah. The 80s has so many gems. One of these, I'm like really like offended that you left off, but I'm not there yet. But we only had one match. And this one, my next one, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, it's crazy that you didn't have that. Like, arguably Wes Craven's best movie. Freddy, just like Michael Myers, man. Freddy was like the icon of horror in the 80s, and he's still recognizable. Like, ain't nobody want to celebrate the 10 years of the remake because ain't nobody want the remake. But because like Robert Englund just made that character so iconic, man. And Nancy is one of like the best final girls. Like I said, like John Saxon. Like John Saxon was in Enter the Dragon. He's in this. Yeah. And then I mean like this is like these older movies, it's just like, man, what can you say about them? Like, they classics. Everybody done praised them like through the roof. And so you got all the sequels. Everybody loves 3. I think New Nightmare is severely underrated, but ain't none of them possible without this one.
Yeah. And another thing about Nightmare is it gave us probably the first slasher with a personality.
Fuck yeah. Freddy was roasting kids. Freddy was roasting kids.
Yeah, that's Nightmare. Man, it's a I can't wait to see what you got next on your list.
Oh, what I got next is it came down to this or Die Hard, and this is my all-time favorite action movie. I watch Die Hard every Christmas. What? Like, I'm gonna let you say it because you know. And
I hope I know. Damn, there's so many. It's gotta be Predator.
Nah, it ain't Predator.
All right, if it ain't Predator, it's RoboCop.
Nah, it ain't RoboCop.
Damn, a Commando.
Nah, it ain't Commando. You 0 for 3, Sig. My hint.
Nah, yeah, I struck out.
My hint, which it ain't a hint, it's the answer, was my steal for the 10-day movie challenge. My all-time favorite action movie, Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon.
Bruh, yeah, like, come on. Like Commando and Predator, RoboCop, them ain't even in the same vein as Die Hard. Like I don't know.
That's saying a lot though.
Maybe I'm in that minority. Like, to me, 80s cop action is Die Hard or Lethal Weapon. Like Commando's a badass movie. I've only seen it once, and then I feel like I was watching Extraction, and Nick was like, "Man, it's mile 22." I was like, "Man, this is Commando." And then like Predator and Die Hard. I mean, Predator and RoboCop are in that little sci-fi niche, like 80s classics.
That's something.
But yeah, man, like Roger Murtaugh, Danny Glover, turned 50, was finna retire. Martin Riggs, crazy, on a suicide mission. Was sitting there watching Looney Tunes, Christmas Carol, about to just eat one, just da-da. Why not make them partners?
Yeah.
And Lethal Weapon, just like Die Hard, is a Christmas movie, and we're in the middle of May. Fight me.
Damn right.
And like, you got the original Superman, you got the Goonies. Like, Richard Donner has hits. I don't want a Lethal Weapon 5 though. Like, I'd rather have a remake. I don't want Lethal Weapon 5.
It's good where they left it.
Yeah, like, it's good where they left it. Like, we don't need no more Lethal Weapon. The TV show was okay for what it was. Yeah. But like, this is my favorite action movie. I love the fight in Murtaugh's front yard. I don't remember if it was rain or if they hit a fire hydrant, but Gary Busey
Yeah,
versus
fire
Mel
hydrant.
Gibson, like
Yeah,
that was such a dope fight. Like it's
yeah,
so like it's just a fight. Like you got your setup. There's no effects. It's just
yeah.
hand to hand combat.
It's gritty and
Yeah.
realistic.
Let me take him, Riggs.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
No.
But oh man, Lethal Weapon. Yeah, you making me But now you know what's funny about that? You mentioned this
just
earlier.
rewatch all four of them.
Yeah. No, I think you said this on Mike. You mentioned in movie the character Murtaugh was turning 50.
Yeah. That's my
Ain't
only
that,
beef with the series. Their
what's
continuity and
that?
when like
Yeah.
their ages and how they're about to how he's always about to retire. But it's like,
Yeah.
bro, like all four of these movies take place or were released in real time over 11 years. And like, was my man 61 getting his ass whooped by Jet Li?
Pretty much, and that explained a lot. Because but in real life, which is funny, I think this kind of followed Danny Glover around for real.
Being too old for that
People,
shit?
people thinking he's older. You know how old Danny Glover really was?
No.
All right, I got one's gonna blow your freaking mind.
Like what, 33 years ago?
Now, how old am I right now?
When Lethal Weapon came out, he was 39, playing 50.
He was going on 40. He was playing 10 years older than he was.
Damn, why?
And so was Mel Gibson because they would have been too young to be in a war.
That makes sense, I guess, for
Or
writing
Mel
purposes.
Gibson would have definitely been too young.
So how old was Riggs in the original? I thought he was like in his late 30s.
And Riggs was supposed to be because Gibson was 29, 28.
Word. I've done shit with my life.
Yeah.
If he was in so wait, so he was 20 when Mad Max came out?
He was early 20s. He was probably 30 on the head.
When Mad Max came out.
But he was when Lethal Weapon came out.
Okay.
Because he was young. Because he was babyface. Remember how that first Mad Max, he was real.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And then by the fourth Mad Max, he looks like Tom Hardy.
Yeah. But now Lethal Weapon, that's a hell of a that's one of the greatest 80 movies ever.
But
So now
my next pick is my favorite 80s movies ever. 80s movie ever. Is my favorite. It's my first favorite movie ever. And that's Tim Burton's Batman. This is the one I'm offended that you didn't say. Because like this was not getting left off. Like I could have put Scarface. I could have put Raiders of the Lost Ark. I could have put so many classics. But this movie was going to be there. Take me back in a time machine, 1987, 88, whenever the press release came out, Michael Keaton announces Batman. Beetlejuice was dope. Michael Keaton was a comedian. Why would he be Batman?
Mm-hmm.
He was a dope tortured soul of Bruce Wayne, and then who let Vicky Vale into the Batcave? And then like Jack Nicholson, like everybody loves Heath Ledger, but it's like as recently as the verses last night, building up to last night's Nelly versus Ludacris, everybody was like all these dudes are washed. I don't even bump Luda like that. Blah 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 blah. Bro, like how Joaquin Phoenix said, like he's standing on the shoulders, like Heath Ledger did this so he could do this. Jack Nicholson had to fall in Nevada acid so Heath Ledger could ask how excuse me, how he got these scars. Like Jack Nicholson is an amazing Joker.
Yeah. And there's a mentality in Hollywood, the what have you done for me lately mentality. And everybody forgets real easily what came before, and they just dismiss it as weak. And that's not the case for this. I agree with you 100%. And I honestly think Nicholson should have got an Oscar nomination for that. That's just me.
I'll agree. I was like 3 years old, but shit, I'll agree. I'll retcon my life and be like, I was 3 years old saying, "Where's Jack's Oscar?"
But funny about that, I remember seeing this. I saw this movie probably 5 times in theaters, and once on a double bill at a drive-in with the sequel to Lethal Weapon 2.
So you were in Derry, Maine when the Losers Club was fighting Pennywise because you went to that theater.
Right, that was on the thing, wasn't it? The bill.
Yup.
Yeah, I remember that. And Batman is a horrible movie to see at the drive-in, man.
Especially if it's the first movie and the sun's still out.
Can't see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My last pick. I said we had one match. My last pick is Back to the Future. Again, classic. Yeah. Like Biff Tannen, one of the most underappreciated villains. I don't know. The kids in the 50s wasn't ready for the music, but their kids are gonna love it. Doc Brown, Marty McFly. Like I said, we talked about this movie so many times on this show. Like if you watching, if you listening, man, y'all know that we love Back to the Future. So go ahead with your 90s.
Alrighty. This is probably the hardest list for me.
Yeah.
And right now, as you were talking, I'm taking stuff off and putting stuff on.
Oh, that's cheating. Once we hit record, even though we had these ready to go like 2 weeks ago, lists were final as soon as I hit record.
So 99 by itself is one of, if not the best years in cinema.
I have no 1999 movies on my list.
Wow, man.
There's a good like 3 that should be on there though.
Interested. I can't wait to see this list.
Oh, like my 90s list might have like my most like special movies on it. Like I feel like my 2000s is special. I feel like my 10s is special. But like all 5 movies I got on my 90s, it's just like there's one movie like when I go, I'm gonna be like this. If we were doing 6, like this would be because I love this movie with all my soul. But every movie I put in the 90s like is certified 5 out of 5 classic.
I get you. That's fair enough. All right, so let's get started. I mentioned animated movies, and this is gonna be the first one on my list.
Okay.
Overall, The Nightmare Before Christmas.
You lying? How you gonna say 99 and then go back to 93? Get a movie in my head. You lying?
No, I got one 99 movie on here that I might edit before I get to it. But no, Nightmare Before Christmas, the movie people think Tim Burton directed. But,
yeah, he ain't direct that. I know he ain't direct that.
Wrote it and he produced it.
He directed Frankenweenie. If we talking about that style animation.
Yes. And but Henry Selick is actually the director of Nightmare Before Christmas, and I don't know why from this movie alone, I don't know why Danny Elfman doesn't have 15 Oscars on his mantle. For songs.
Yeah. Like personally, no disrespect, your pick is your pick. I think the movie is a little overrated, but as far as like songs, The Nightmare Before Christmas got some jams.
I think the opposite though. Nobody talks about it. I think it's underrated just a tad. I mean, that only comes up around Halloween and Christmas it's
like
understandably so, but
I grew up around white people and like all them little emo kids was just like, oh, The Nightmare Before Christmas, I'm so gothic. So
yeah, I understand. I don't have a problem with them, but okay, good for you.
Yeah. You've been to Hot Topic. Yeah, exactly. You've been to Hot Topic. Take a bow.
Yeah. But no, The Nightmare Before Christmas, I like that it mashes. We were talking about Die Hard, a Christmas movie. It is Lethal Weapon. But people, what is this, a Christmas or a Halloween movie? It's both.
Exactly.
You can have two things.
The last time I watched it, like how like me and Nick, I guarantee a gang of other cinephiles, like we'll come up with like a theme during the holidays and watch those movies. Last time I watched Nightmare Before Christmas, it was during Christmas. So next time I watch it, I got to squeeze it in Halloween.
Yeah. And speaking of which,
I don't recognize him.
Oh, that's the best, one of the best animated characters of all time, Mr. Skeleton. Voiced. There you go. I love that shirt. So for all you youngins out there, Jack Skellington's talking voice is Chris Sarandon. And most of us...
The cop from Child's Play.
The cops from Child's Play. And also another Tom Holland movie, not Spider-Man, another Tom Holland directed movie, Fright Night.
That's right.
The Vampire. And the singing voice for Jack Skellington was...
We both pointed at me. That was me. 1993, 5 years old. I was getting it in. I was like 7.
Come on. Who was it?
Danny Elfman? Shit, I don't know.
Danny Elfman.
Okay. I thought, yes. But I wasn't sure, so I just took a wild guess. Anyway, I read that somewhere.
I think overall, it's one of the more underrated animated movies. But it's just when, like you said, we get around Halloween holiday, all the, the sewers come up and the goths come out like, hey.
The freaks come out at night. Freaks come out at night.
Man, this is a hard list.
I
gotta
swear.
Put this one on there.
I'm not even locked in on my 2000s list. Because, there's one in my head that I want to say, needs to be said. It's my all-time favorite comedy. But I don't know what to bump.
Yeah, but speaking of which, that's funny you mentioned that. Because I think so far, neither one of us have any hard comedies on the list. Comedy has been a subgenre so far.
Yeah, I really don't have, you love comedies. But when you're making, best of lists, comedies kind of get left out.
Yeah, and that's why my next movie, I had to, I bumped a few. I think I bumped a movie on your list for this one. I bumped the slasher that's on your list for this movie. And this movie is comedy Groundhog Day.
You breaking my heart.
And that's a coincidence. 293 movies.
Wes Craven rolling over right now.
I'm sorry, Wes. That's my boy. But no, so Groundhog Day. Probably one of the rare perfect comedies.
That does make up for you excluding Ghostbusters.
Yeah. And speaking of Ghostbusters, this movie ruined a relationship. To give us its classic. I
bet you. If I could be a fly on the wall in whatever Hollywood, Chicago mansion in 1991, Dan Aykroyd was probably like, Bill, Harold, Ghostbusters 3, 1994, let's get it. Yeah. And then the Groundhog Day happened, and then we ain't ever get Ghostbusters 3.
Yeah.
Coronavirus don't even want us to have Ghostbusters 3.
Yeah. Now, for y'all that don't know, Harold Ramis and Bill Murray fell out during the making of Groundhog Day because they argued over the tone of the movie.
Everybody says Bill Murray's a dick though, so
yeah, it's yeah. But now Groundhog Day, and here we go. Ugh. So before Christmas, Groundhog
that's only
Day.
2. You cringing, and that's only your second movie.
Yeah. So my next movie is one we talked about. Another awesome sequel, Terminator 2. Mm-hmm. Now, you say you liked the first one a tad bit, smidget more than this one.
True indeed.
And people talk about 90s movies. I might name a movie that's on your list, might or might not be. People talk about a movie that revolutionized visual effects, photorealistic CG in Jurassic Park.
That may or not be on my list.
No, but people talk about that. But people kind of knock down the achievements of Terminator 2 with its visual effects.
I don't see why.
Yeah, and exactly. It's people always go to Jurassic Park, but now Terminator 2 with the liquid, and you watch it now on Blu-ray or whatever. Look how well those effects stand up. And it was the thing about movies in the 90s that have awesome visual effects don't use them that much. Like Jurassic Park only has 3 minutes worth of CG, if that. And Terminator 2, they only use it just to blend stuff. And but anyway, Terminator 2 is just a masterclass on how to do action.
When Robert Patrick went down to liquid form and blended in with that floor before he killed that guard,
the checkered floor.
Yeah, he looked just like the floor.
Yeah, and it comes up. That's one of the most seamless scenes that still holds up. But no, it's the movie is. It is what it is. It's a masterclass of action. And you mentioned how the first movie is a horror / sci-fi, and this movie is action / sci-fi.
Straight action.
Yeah, and that's the genius of Cameron. He gave
Yeah.
us two totally different great experiences with the same story. You know, two related movies, a movie and a sequel in different genres.
Yeah.
And just how he didn't direct the first Alien, but he made a sequel in another genre.
Yeah.
You know, he knows how to make a sequel. I wish he would make more.
He's actually working on a ton of sequels right now.
Man, damn that. Yeah, and he only makes movies every 10-year average.
Gosh.
Next movie gonna be 2034.
No shit.
No, so that's Terminator 2. So I'm struggling with these next two. Yeah. So
we have 55 minutes, just a heads up.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
So next movie, The Matrix.
Damn.
Yeah. So everybody knows The Matrix. You talking about a movie
Whoa.
Another movie that revolutionized something. It revolutionized special effects, integrating Eastern style martial arts into the movie.
It revolutionized Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves has so many reinventions in his career.
I know Kung Fu.
But no, The Matrix is my second movie, and my first movie. I had to knock so many movies off for this one, but another Spike Lee movie.
Word.
And, yeah, and this one
okay.
is it's going into the time capsule, just as a film itself
for educational purposes.
Yeah, educational purposes, and just a well-made film. How to make a film on a epic film on a tight budget. So Malcolm X, and one of the greatest performances ever.
We had
and
no
Denzel
matches.
Yeah, but now that's it. I know we have to pause a second.
Damn. All right, that's a solid list. Like I said, like it's gonna get more diverse the more recent we get, and like you had all classics. I feel like I have all classics, and this is where I kind of like. I'm not putting it in a time capsule, but it needs to be in a time capsule because I limited the picks to 5. But if it was 6, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would be in there. Because, like, Batman was my first favorite movie ever. 4 years old. Yeah. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was my second favorite movie ever. So,
ooh, that's good times.
You put some animation in there. And I can't believe you didn't put this specific animation that revolutionized computer-generated movies.
Oh, yeah.
How did you not? Like, I don't know if you got a friend in me no more. How did you not have Toy Story on your list? I love Toy Story to my core.
Toy Story 2, right?
Nah, the first one. So I'm one of those, like, everybody, like, even Nick, like, I think, like, likes 2 more than 1.
Yeah, and I think 3 might be better than 2. Yeah,
I think 3's better than 1. Yeah. But even though all of Andy's friends look just like Andy, we ain't talking about Andy. We took. My name is Randy. This is my list, and like Buzz didn't have a pull string. He had a voice box, and he was cool. And Woody thought he was a little bitch, and knocked him out the window. Went to Pizza Planet, and this made they was at the diner. And it was like, hey, we can do toys and we can do monsters. We can do fish. Like, even with the ball and the lamp, Toy Story made Pixar.
Mm-hmm.
My next pick is Scream. Like Scream was meta before it was cool to be meta.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing more. And like we said about Lethal Weapon. I'm on the fence whether I care about another Scream movie without Wes Craven.
Yeah.
I'm interested because it's on the real. It's my favorite horror franchise. I think whether it's Scream 3 or Scream 4, whatever your least favorite Scream is, it's still better than a lot of Friday the 13th, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw sequels. I like these characters. I like where the story goes. Like Scream, the tension in Scream is damn near nonstop.
Yeah.
And then I drop of my all-time favorite directors. Their first appearance in this discussion is in the 90s. For me, because you omitted both of them, my next pick is Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, that's the one I painfully pushed off.
For shame. But man, yeah, like it put Samuel L. Jackson on. It was John Travolta's resurgence. Like everybody love, like I hope everybody loves Reservoir Dogs. Like it's very dope. Like Pulp Fiction is like kind of what got Quentin Tarantino to blow up.
Yeah.
And like the non-linear storytelling, and like I'm super, especially since it's come back into the discussion a little bit. I'm a little salty. We never got the Vega Brothers movie.
Yeah, that would have been sweet.
Yeah. And like there's just so many characters, man. Like Ving Rhames, Bruce Willis, Uma Thurman, Harvey Keitel. Like there's so many cool characters, and even the ending, how it starts off and then it comes back around at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Reach in that bag and hand me my wallet.
Yeah.
Which one is your wallet? The one that says bad motherfucker on it.
Because I had this on my list. I just want to say, it's one of the rare movies. I think a great movie, any great movie, is a movie where you can go back and find something new about it each subsequent viewing. And it's still things about Pulp Fiction that a lot of people still don't know, as far as like little puzzle pieces that Quentin Tarantino put there for you to put together. And like the one I like a lot. Every time Vince goes to the bathroom, something bad happens. I think it's 3 times it's terrible. The restaurant, he went to the bathroom. He went to the bathroom, Mia OD'd. He went to the bathroom, got killed.
Yeah. Yeah, like Pulp Fiction is one of my favorite Quentin Tarantino movies, only to be topped by a movie that will be in a upcoming decade. And we still got 2 decades to go. And then again, it's just one of those movies that's been praised so much. There's like not a lot that new that can be said. So next, another movie by a director I probably have in my top 10, and that you mentioned in your 90s. You mentioned this movie, but it wasn't on your list. You mentioned it talking about Terminator, and that's Jurassic Park. Where did I go? Okay.
It blinked out a second.
I'm back like Michael Jordan in 95.
Whatever it was, it seemed to fix the quality.
Yeah, I swear it did.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's just like dinosaurs. Again, this is just another movie that, like, the storytelling and the characters and just everything just flows so perfect. Mm-hmm. I think this is probably my all-time favorite Spielberg movie. But I'm going to rewatch for the first time in I don't know how many years. Like next week, I'm going to rewatch the Indiana Jones movies. So if I come back in 2 weeks talking about Crystal Skull is the greatest thing he's ever done. I mean Raiders of the Lost Ark, what you talking about? It's fun. You know what I'm saying? Like all these scientists and researchers are going to this theme park with real dinosaurs, and obviously all hell breaks loose. It's fun. It's horror. It's adventure. It's Steven Spielberg like wowing on the big screen, man. This was one of those event movies.
And clout chasing moment.
That's what we do over here.
Cinematographer Dean Cundey. I'll give you an example. Dean Cundey shot all the Back to the Future movies, shot Carpenter's best movies, and Little China, and he shot Jurassic Park. Dean Cundey is real friendly on social media if y'all want to follow him.
Word.
Yeah, he replies and he likes follows people. He's actually following me on IG, which is hilarious. Yeah, so there you go.
Subtle flex.
But yeah, Jurassic Park. Now you can't go wrong with that one.
My last '90s pick is one that, in regards to this director, I flip flop. I go back and forth. It's like 1 or 1A, and that's Martin Scorsese. Even though he pronounced his name right, I pronounce it wrong. And that's Goodfellas, the best mob movie ever.
Yeah.
I don't even think I know you right now. Like, how is this not on your list?
That's it goes to show you how great the '90s were.
Yeah. as like Ray Liotta. Ever since he could remember, he always wanted to be a gangster.
Yeah.
And then Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci got the Oscar for this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see like if anybody drop a comment talking about I would have Dances with Wolves on my list, I'm gonna block you. I'm gonna block you.
It's like
stole
the
all the Scorsese's Oscars.
Yeah. The late great Roger Ebert said this. He said it straight out. He said, at any point in time, which movie would you want to watch right now?
Goodfellas.
Yeah. Who say, man, I get the popcorn. Let's watch Dances with Wolves.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, did anybody in that movie dance?
Stupid. Yeah, but it was Kevin Costner's his crowning moment. They had to give it to him. They can't get a violent movie.
Shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
But
there's so many dope performances in this movie.
Yeah.
And if y'all want Goodfellas with a little bit of humor, I ain't seen it yet, but it's on my shelf. Watch My Blue Heaven.
Yeah, the unofficial sequel.
Yeah. That came out a month earlier, was directed by the wife of the writer of Goodfellas or something. Nora Ephron, R.I.P. That's it for the 90s though, because we're gonna talk 2 hours on the 90s.
Oh yeah. So 2000s it is. Yeah. So I guess I'll start off.
Only 5.
So one of the best written movies of the 90s, and I think one of this actor's best performances in a dramatic role and overall in any role, but this actor is known for his comedic roles.
Oh, so it's not I Am Sam.
Yeah. Oh no. And not only, but it's a lot of reasons that movie nowhere near on the list. But this particular actor I'm talking about, funny enough, we didn't name any of his movies from the 90s, and the 90s is what blew up the year 94 in particular. My first 2000s movie is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah, you was going through your 90s, and I was like, fuck, I left off Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, and we barely squeezed the comedy in there. I don't think you had any comedies on your 90s list, did you?
Toy Story counts. I'm making it.
Toy Story, yeah.
I laughed at parts in Jurassic Park and Scream and Goodfellas. I laughed in moments in a lot of these, but they're not technically comedies.
No, but Eternal Sunshine, definitely one of those what you described. A lot of funny moments. It's definitely not a comedy.
Nah.
And it's a very tragic story. And anybody who's ever been in love and had the heart broken, which is everybody, can relate to this movie. And I think it's a fantastic movie. Jim Carrey was snubbed for his Oscar nomination. So, fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, shame on you. Have you seen it?
I've seen it. I did a whole Jim Carrey binge a year and a half ago.
That's true.
I think I bought it specifically for that binge.
So moving along, my second comedy in all of my list. And I think we were talking about this. No, it was on the mic. I got to put the 40-year-old version on there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So probably, I'm going to say it, I think you said it, Judd Apatow's best movie.
I think so.
In my opinion. Now, I'm mentioning this. I probably won't mention it again. The version of the movie I will put in the time capsule is the unrated version.
The Blu-ray version.
Yeah. And what's funny about that is one of the funniest scenes in the movie that it's a lot of funny scenes. One of the funniest scenes in the movie that everybody remembers is only in the unrated version.
Do you know how that I know that you are gay?
Oh, you know what's messed up? Not that character, but the other guy he was talking to.
The dude,
the younger,
the dude that was in Zack and Miri Make a Porno, the manager at the coffee shop.
Was he the manager? I don't remember.
The other Indian dude.
Yeah, the other Indian dude. Yeah, I'm sorry, but
right, that felt so offensive to say.
We don't remember his name, but that dude in prison for 50 years.
Hold on, the little dude with the goatee.
Not the little dude, the other younger Indian guy.
Oh, okay. I think my voice was of the taller one.
Yeah, the taller, younger. He's in prison for like 50 years for murdering his wife or something.
Damn.
Yeah.
I was unaware of that.
Yeah. But to bring it back down after this.
Like between that and I just like rewatched like the whole series of Weeds. Like I really wish like Roman E. Malco like would have like blown up a little more off of this movie.
He probably the runaway performance in that movie, and that's saying something. This movie,
but at the time, like I don't think everybody knew Seth Rogen was that funny at the time.
Right.
But I think we were aware Paul Rudd was that funny, and like Steve Carell.
Yeah. And this is funny. This is Steve Carell's. You think about it. We saw him around like peripherally and stuff
like Bruce
like
Almighty, Anchorman. Yeah.
Right. But his first leading role, right?
I think so.
Yeah. But no, I said the unrated version will go in the time capsule because one of the funniest scenes, the scene with Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
It's actually the scene that's real popular. That part when he does that's not in the theatrical version.
Nah. I don't think Kevin Hart's in the theatrical version.
Yeah, it's it cuts. He's in it for a shorter. It cuts off at a certain point.
I run this smart tech shit.
Yeah, and everybody remembers that. But I'm not glad I didn't see it. I saw it in theaters, and then I saw it again, like you said, on
I don't know if I saw it in the theaters.
But that's it. Yeah, I saw it in theaters. Thank goodness. But anyway, spending too much time on this one. But 40 version is number or 4 or whatever. So going to I think on both of our top 10 best directors lists, Quentin Tarantino's.
Oh, that's number 1.
Tarantino's first appearance on my list as a whole. Inglourious Basterds. And I think this is Tarantino's masterpiece.
He said it at the very end.
Yeah. What's that?
So he said it at the very end through Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Right. And sure enough, Brad Pitt, he would go on to win an Oscar in the Tarantino movie, but he should at least got a nod.
Yeah.
For this one, he didn't.
And I want my scalps.
Christoph Waltz, who was basically an unheard of and unknown, came in and stole the movie. And deservingly so, he got that supporting Oscar. But the movie is, I think, it's Tarantino at his creative peak. Directing, writing, everything.
Maybe it's because social media wasn't so prominent at the time. But it's like when he fictionalized. Why didn't people rage out when he fictionalized World War II?
Yeah, it's just like you said, because it wasn't any platform for a bunch of knuckleheads to complain on. It wasn't Twitter, it wasn't Instagram.
Exactly.
Facebook wasn't as popular. But no, Inglourious Basterds. And moving down, so you mentioned this character on your 80s list, so I'm gonna bring this character on my 2000s list.
Rambo?
So, well, no, but no.
Man, what?
So,
it can't be Terminator. It can't be Indiana Jones.
So, The Dark Knight. Yeah, Batman's first appearance on my list. The Dark Knight's probably one of the best superhero movies ever. But the way Nolan made it, it's a crime drama that just happens to involve a superhero character.
Yeah, that's what I was telling. Like one of my high school friends was asking me, like, what do you like more, the Avengers or the Dark Knight? And I was trying to break it down. Like the Dark Knight trilogy is made. Like, what if Batman existed 3 towns over? What if Batman really existed in the real world?
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Nolan just made fucking one of the best trilogies ever.
Yeah, and that approach just I think why it stands above. And of course we mentioned Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker.
Yeah.
And one of the best performances ever. And even if he'd have been, you got some knuckleheads out there saying that they gave him the Oscar for a sympathy award. Nah, that's the best performance out of all those nominees, and that's the one that deserved to get that gold.
Yup.
And
Robert Downey Jr. in the corner saying,
yeah,
wait a minute.
Yeah, runner up, I think.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but no, The Dark Knight. That's that. So I'm down to my last one, and this one is part of a trilogy. Yeah, look at you. And I think one of the best movies of that decade.
Gotta be what I'm thinking of. It's probably
and
not.
So I mentioned a filmmaker being at the creative peak in Tarantino with Inglourious Basterds, and I think this director was definitely at his creative peak with this trilogy, and especially with this movie in particular. Peter Jackson's Return of the King.
Not what I was thinking.
Yeah, what were you thinking?
I was thinking Spider-Man 2.
Oh yeah, I fought with that one, man. That's probably one of the best Spider-Man movies.
That's my favorite.
That in the Spider-Verse.
As dope as Spider-Verse is, as dope as these MCU Spider-Man movies are, I still don't think they even flirt with being as good as Raimi's first two.
Yeah, I get you that. Especially the second one for me. But yeah, I fought with putting that on the list, but it's but I got to give it that. Yeah, so Eternal Sunshine, 40-year version, Bastards, The Dark Knight, and Return of the King.
All right. My 2000s, like I did with Ninja Turtles, if it was 6 movies, and this is the one like earlier, I was like, man, like if we was doing 6, or did I say that off wax? Y'all don't know. My favorite comedy ever that while making this, I just didn't include it. The original Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy, hilarious. Like Will Ferrell at his comedy peak, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Arguable. Based on Your Flavor, Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, the other guys. A comedy about a news team that brawl with Vince Vaughn and Tim Robbins, Ben Stiller. Hilarious. R.I.P. Fred Willard. Like I said, it's not even officially on the list. I don't want to go too much into it. But yeah. I love Anchorman.
Yeah, and one more thing before you move off of Anchorman.
Oh no, we moving.
No, this will cause a big discussion, and probably one we probably have in a podcast topic. So I think Will Ferrell is one of the few actors, comedic or actors, period, that's flawless across every rating. Meaning, I think he has a movie in every rating. I might be off of, I don't know about G, but I'm pretty sure he has a G movie that's pretty awesome.
Curious George.
Curious George?
I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know. It's probably PG.
But anyway, at least from PG to PG-13 to R, he has a movie in all of those, under all of those ratings that are probably, if not classics, that are just awesome or great.
Why can't I think of an R-rated Will Ferrell movie?
Semi-Pro.
Was it?
Oh yeah, that was a hard R.
That's the name of this episode.
Thing. Like who?
You said S-my-D, Jackie. Oh, okay. So then you got Semi-Pro, you got Daddy's Home 2, you got a PG Will Ferrell movie. What do you do? Kicking and Screaming?
Kicking and Screaming.
And then Curious George has to be G. I don't even know if it is. I'm just throwing it out there.
But that's just a little tidbit. I mean, can you name right off your head another actor who can touch that right now? You probably can, but the average person.
Let me see. Uncut Gems. Happy Gilmore.
So Sandler, yeah.
Bedtime Stories. G.
Yep, Sandler. And that's an unexpected one. Bam, I knew you could do it. But
bam, that's off the top, bruh.
Right.
I'm the geekiest.
One, though. That's true.
I'm the geekiest Caucasian movie nerd on this show.
But yeah, I mean, but think about that. The top 5 actors that could do that. That's a hard list. You know what I mean?
I was trying to think of some bad Adam Sandler too. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I was trying to freestyle.
Okay,
Okay,
but
so,
that's Anchorman. Yeah, that's comedy wise. Yeah, that's a
but
good
it's
pick.
like after I say my fifth movie, tell me what could have got bumped. Ain't one. So first, I'm gonna say the first Spider-Man. I prefer two, but the first Spider-Man was just like revolutionary as far as like comic book movies, how good it was, and it was an event.
And it set the template for a lot of years of that.
Yeah, like all respect to Bryan Singer's first X-Men.
Yeah.
First two X-Men. Oh no, two came out after Spider-Man 1.
But the first one, it didn't know what it wanted to be.
Yeah.
It knew it was a comic book movie, but they didn't have any template. They didn't know. You had movies that were, movie probably that was good before that tried to make you like Blade, but Blade was very unique.
Yeah.
In what it was.
Yeah, Blade was dope. X-Men was dope, but it's like Spider-Man was just like, and like it made it cool because like you could say like Stephen Sommers' original Mummy with Brendan Fraser like kind of started the summer movie kickoff in May, but it's like Spider-Man was just like first weekend in May. We about to make it cool for comic book movies to come out this weekend, and I mean like the first Spider-Man movie, the Green Goblin, he don't look like a Power Ranger to me. It's dope. Like the first Spider-Man is so dope. With great power come great responsibility, and it made comic book movies cool.
That's true.
My next movie is from a director I already talked about, a director you finally talked about, and it's not Inglourious Bastards. It's both Kill Bills because you're not getting one without the second one. They go together. So the whole bloody affair.
There you go.
Again, like Kill Bill is special, man. This is like Uma Thurman's dopest movie. The Deadly Viper Assassination Squad with Vivica Fox, Lucy Liu, Michael Madsen, Daryl Hannah. Like it was just all dope. Like Kill Bill is so good, and it's like the first movie, the second movie are completely like different genres. You know what I'm saying? Like the first one is like a straight kung fu movie, and the second one, and it's got the anime and all of that, is real dope. And the fight scenes is real dope. The second one is more like Western style and just like revenge, but it all just goes together so perfect. This is my favorite Tarantino.
Yeah. There you go. And I wanted to ask him, I'm glad you picked this one because a lot of people, I think this is the movies, as a whole, where Tarantino came out of his shell as a director.
I mean,
so think about
chilling.
That.
Like Jackie Brown came out 1997. Yeah. Kill Bill Volume 1 came out October 2003. That's a lot of time to chill. Even though he was in Little Nicky and popped up in a couple other movies. Little Nicky is the one that came out of my head.
But we mentioned Reservoir Dogs and all of his movies. You just mentioned Jackie Brown. But Tarantino was always a great writer. You can see that in Reservoir Dogs, but his directing skill was at the worst basic. You know what I mean? You can see it get better in Pulp Fiction and better in Jackie Brown, but look at the Kill Bill movies. Like, bam. You know what I'm saying? He's doing long takes, getting creative with the cinematography, putting cameras, and his trademarks were
just that fight with the crazy 88s, man. It was just so visually dope.
And that's you can't take anything away. And talking about snubs, I love to talk about actors being snubbed. David Carradine.
Yeah.
Where's that supporting nomination? And but yeah, that's cool. Good pick. The whole bloody affair, which they need to officially release.
I swear I'd rebuy it. Next I put Iron Man, and basically for the same reason I put Spider-Man. Like it's an event. It's the kickoff of the MCU. Robert Downey Jr. resurgence. It was just like, it was such a good movie. Like Iron Man, like despite what people say, Iron Man's my favorite superhero. Was he your favorite superhero in 2005, dog?
Yeah.
I don't think he was.
That people are BSing if they said it's hard to think that Iron Man wasn't popular in the general public.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't.
Like there was that 90s animated series that, like, let's face it, was a little whack.
Yeah. You had to
But
be a hardcore comic fan to be an Iron Man fan
yeah,
before 2008.
and like it's perfect. Like that's like if anybody asked me like what actor is perfect for like a role he's been in, Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. He was Tony Stark
Yeah.
before he was cast.
And you know what's crazy about that? He had to audition for that.
And they didn't even want him.
Yeah, they didn't want him. And he said, and I like Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. And
Yeah.
I remember he was being interviewed on a talk show, and he said the other guy never had a chance.
Like Favreau really had to fight.
Yeah, and I'm glad he did.
Yeah.
And it's hard even for people to remember a lot of facts about this, like the one you said about, I loved Iron Man. Yeah, now you do.
Yeah.
And another thing is, Downey himself was just coming off a hard time as he had Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. He was slowly rebuilding his career.
Zodiac, yeah.
Yeah, Zodiac, and because like in the 90s,
he was some duds.
Yeah, and duds, and also in his personal life too, the 90s and early 2000s, and probably after Natural Born Killers, he don't have anything memorable.
Just Bowfinger, but he's in that shit like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's a cameo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And other than that, yeah, he is some little really obscure independent movies. Yeah, and then Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, the painfully underrated movie from the writer of Lethal Weapon and Shane Black, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. But no, go ahead. I'm stealing your movie from you.
No. I mean, that's it, man. Like by now, like everybody that loves comic book movies, everybody that loves the MCU loves the original Iron Man. If it would have flopped, there would be no Avengers Endgame. We wouldn't be all teary-eyed because Black Widow didn't come out 2 weeks ago. But next I got The Departed. Like I said, for Scorsese, it's 1 and 1A. Like these are my two favorite Scorsese movies. Just who's playing who's undercover, who's ratting, like Jack Nicholson asking who wants some coke, like the detail, like the rat, like the Simpsons parodied this so dope. Ralph came out, the rat means symbolism or whatever he said.
Wow.
Just Wahlberg, Vera Farmiga, DiCaprio, Matt Damon, and Alec Baldwin. The dialogue works, the scenes work. Again, like there's tension and it's exciting for cop drama and gangsters, and like it's not like Italian mafia gangsters, like it's like Irish and it's in Boston, and it's amazing, man. Like I said, this is one of my favorite movies. My last two movies on this list are two of my favorite movies of all time, and that's one of them. And again, we had like our last 2 decades, we had one match. This is our one match, and that's
Before you get off to the party, give me 1 second. I wanted to make a point. I was having a conversation with a person about acting. So, about actors and directors. So, Scorsese is personally my favorite director of all time. And I don't think anybody will take his spot. I think, people throw the word underrated around. I don't think he's underrated. I think he's kind of underappreciated.
Yeah.
Because people expect, it's a Scorsese movie. It's going to be good. At the least. Even if you don't dig it, it's a good movie. Yeah,
I would say like I couldn't really like completely get into Silence, but it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie, but some movies just, he's made a decent movie. But anyway, I'm talking about acting and directors. So The Departed, look at Mark Wahlberg. I think that's probably his best acting role ever.
It's gotta be.
All right, so it came out 2006, right?
Yeah, because I didn't see it.
Talking about the.
I was deployed. I was too busy serving my country, and I didn't get to see it in theaters.
And of course, we appreciate you for that.
That's right.
But 2006, The Departed came out, and so Scorsese, directors directing actors. Wahlberg with that great performance. 2 years later, look at Wahlberg's performance in The Happening. That shows you how important the actor's director is.
I thought he was snubbed.
No, he got that Razzie nomination.
Why? Touche. Why wouldn't?
But no, I just wanted to put that in there. People don't give like, a good actor's a good actor. Yeah, but some actors need that direction.
Why wouldn't a teacher want their kids to be involved in science?
Like I don't know, and he goes into that SNL Mark
I just
Wahlberg
want you guys
that
to take an interest in science.
yeah, that that's just oh man, I'm sorry to go into that. Like say hi to your mom for me. But no, I'm sorry, go in.
Yeah, but my last movie for the 2000s is The Dark Knight. My favorite movie ever. Bale
Ooh,
improves as Batman. Bale improves as Bruce Wayne. Um, Obviously Heath Ledger. Aaron Eckhart, like Aaron Eckhart at that dinner where Bruce Wayne tries to flex. So we'll put the tables together. But
yeah.
Aaron Eckhart, like, it breaks down his arc in one line, man. Like, you either die a hero or
Hmm.
you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. Harvey Dent lived long enough to see himself become Two-Face.
Yeah.
Like,
And you know what's crazy about that? I'm glad you mentioned Eckhart. I didn't when I named it. His role gets overshadowed because of Ledger,
yeah,
unfortunately. And it's a good like you said arc. And and it's like that the contrast between Harvey and Two-Face, his performance gets really overshadowed.
yeah, yeah. Like, The Dark Knight, I don't think any movie's perfect. And, like, I'll watch The Dark Knight, my favorite movie ever, and I still try to find flaws and shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, every performance is damn near spot on, and like there's that trivia that I always see in different feeds and pages and stuff. Like, Michael Caine was like so startled the first time he saw Heath Ledger, he forgot his lines,
Yeah,
but he still gave
same
a great
thing.
performance.
Yeah. And of course, it's no coincidence that The Dark Knight is shot in the best city in the world in Chicago, and Chicago is Gotham City. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's
that's part of why I knock Rises. I hate that, like, the producers at Legendary or wherever, whatever
yeah, let's
studio
go to
had to flex.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, like, let's move The Dark Knight Rises to film in Pittsburgh. No, bro, like, no, like, nerds. Like, I've never even been to Chicago, but I know that bridge, and I know, like, different places in Chicago that are gonna stand out that aren't in The Dark Knight Rises, and
Yes, it's a character.
it bothers me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Uh, but oh, so where are we now? The 2010s
Too
already?
bad Nolan ain't come from no Indianapolis. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, that's what. All right, so 2010's the last decade for the top five, right?
This is the last one. I mean, bro, we were 5 months into the 2020s, and no
Yeah.
movies have come out. No movies have come out.
uh,
Um,
uh, yeah.
this we might have the most similarities on this one.
This should be very interesting. Let me see. Pull up my list. It disappeared already. So starting off, um, we were talking about the MCU, and you mentioned Iron Man. Without Iron Man, there would be no MCU. And so I'm gonna put this one out there. And I mentioned, I think, on the mic about how a lot of people have the "What have you done for me lately?" Attitude and memory. A lot of people are calling Avengers Endgame like, oh yeah, that's the best Avengers movie. And as great as it was, to be honest, I think Infinity War is the better movie.
Yeah,
And but even above both of those, The Avengers is my first movie on the list. And so yeah, that look on your face.
nah. See, this is why I
So
keep nagging you about Letterboxd. I want to see all 23 MCU movies ranked by you.
yeah, and I'm gonna definitely do that. I'm gonna get on Letterboxd.
Sure you are.
But but people forget that how like first of all, it's one of the first movies to have multiple characters from numerous movies come over.
Yeah.
And I think technically Kevin Smith probably did it first, but he doesn't get credit for that.
No.
But yeah, this is the first movie that did it in a major way. And I mentioned this somewhere with you, Josh Whedon, and he just, man, they just totally forgot about his contributions to the MCU.
Yeah.
Like, man, and what he had to do with this movie wasn't easy. You know what I mean?
Nah.
He gave everybody what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? In the movie when Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Hulk, and all that, from a geek's perspective. What do you want to see with all those kids? You want to see them fight each other. Guess what we got? You know what I mean? They didn't just come together. Hey, buddy, oh, pow, yeah, we gotta get along. We get along. And it wasn't that. That would have been. And Whedon, he knew that. And
yeah, this ain't your granddaddy's Avengers.
Yeah, and this movie has some of still that third act is one of the best third acts in action. Period.
Yeah. Like I could be greedy and selfish and just wait until I say the Avengers, but like that interaction between Cap and Iron Man, like you're a laboratory experiment, Rogers. Everything special about you, blah blah blah. You're not a team player, Stark. You're selfish. You don't lay on the line and take. You don't jump on the grenade, blah blah blah. Everybody says Iron Man did that for the Avengers. Everybody says Iron Man did that in Endgame, which he did, obviously.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Tony Stark. He did it in the original Avengers too.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's taking the missile up into space, seeing the Chitauri, wanting the shawarma after he finally wakes up. Like he saved the team in the original Avengers movie.
Yeah, people forget about that. And I'm glad you brought up that scene. And what happens in that scene? Captain America is pointing out flaws of a major character.
Yeah.
That's a ballsy thing to do, and to just instead of from the first two Iron Man movies, just as he redeemed himself. Let's not mention that again. People, and like what's his name? Nick Fury said, he like should I remind you of how you made your fortune?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But and no, it's just an excellent movie. And Tom Hiddleston came into his own as Loki in the movie.
Yeah, I think he's a little overrated and weak in the first Thor, but he's better as a villain in the Avengers. Even though later movies revealed him to be a puppet. Yeah.
And to a lot of extent now. But look what Hiddleston did with the villains. People forget. They think the MCU, Marvel Studios, is all perfect, no flaws. But that's totally untrue. There, for a long time, there was a villain problem. To a degree.
Yeah. I get it.
Stretch.
I feel like a lot of villains are more underrated than bad. Yeah. But yeah.
There's a stretch. Iron Man 2, you had both Whiplash and they didn't give boy who played Hammer
Rockwell. Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, they didn't give Sam Rockwell he's chewing all the scenery when he is on screen, but he should have been given a lot more to do. He and Mickey Rourke. Yeah. Then you had the second Thor movie, which was that was just a cookie.
Malekith, man. I heard
that was just
what's Buddy's name? Christopher Eccleston. I heard he hated that shit.
Yeah, they could put half his role on the floor. But that's what they mean, and that stuck out just a little bit. People forget about that now, but Tom Hiddleston, they let him. He set the bar.
Yeah,
and it was something to be. But anyway, that's the Avengers, and going to another. I think this director might have the most movies on our list collectively. So I'm putting this movie on because I think this is one of the more underrated movies of his filmography. I think the actor in this movie should have got the Oscar for this movie. And I'm talking talking about comedy. This movie is a real unique comedy because it is freaking funny.
Okay.
So the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, I was about to say I thought you was talking about Django Unchained, and I thought you was talking about DiCaprio, and then you swerved as soon as you said comedy. What is he talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about DiCaprio.
Yeah.
I was. And he should have, and that's not an asterisk by his name. He deserved the Oscar for The Revenant.
Yeah, for sure.
But he deserved it so many times more before that. And I think this movie, he deserved it. And there's another thing. You had Goodfellas on your list, right? Your 90s list. And what is that movie?
Amazing.
It's a biography.
Yeah.
Amazing. And it's based on a true story. Wolf of Wall Street is based on a true story. And there's a thing, I said Scorsese is my favorite filmmaker of all time, but I think he's the best maker of biopics.
Yeah.
Think about it. What other biopic you see? Every other biopic, even the good ones, it has a structure to it. Oh, he's like the music biopics, like Bohemian Rhapsody and the Ray, they all have a structure to it that follow beat for beat for beat. And even traditional biopics, you watch a Scorsese biopic like Goodfellas and Wolf of Wall Street, you don't know you're watching something that happened.
Raging Bull.
Yeah, Raging Bull. You know what I mean? He's a master of biopics.
Yeah. No question.
And that performance, hell, you know what? I think Jonah Hill should have got the gold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
And but now Wolf of Wall Street, I think this is definitely one of his more underrated movies. Nobody talks about it.
It's in my top. It might be in my top 3, but it's in my top 5 for sure. Scorsese.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't get the love I think it deserves.
Yeah. And
it introduced us to one of your favorite comic book characters of all time. Well, one of the actors who plays your favorite comic book character, Margot Robbie.
Okay. I don't fuck with Harley Quinn like that.
We know you're. But yeah, this is her first major role, right?
Yeah.
If not her first role ever, wasn't it?
Nah, she was in About Time with Donald Gleason and Rachel McAdams for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, the little blink and you miss it.
Yeah.
But I'm not Wolf of Wall Street, so we're moving. Man, I don't think I have many comedies in here.
I only pull that About Time fact because I just watched it a couple months ago.
We're not Wolf of Wall Street. No, but anyway, Wolf of Wall Street is technically a subgenre comedy.
Yeah.
So, moving along, a modern classic, modern sci-fi classic.
I knew you was gonna have this one.
Blade Runner 2049.
I probably would have hung up on you if you didn't have this one.
But no, definitely. I think it's only 3 years old, right?
Yeah.
So it still has time for people for it to grow on people. It initially didn't do very well in theaters, but people are
y'all casual movie
coming
heads.
To the senses.
Look, y'all casual movie theatrical goers. If you listening to the Rec League, if you watching the Rec League, y'all got a good 7 months to appreciate Denis Villeneuve. Go watch Prisoners. Go watch Enemy. Go watch Sicario. Go watch Blade Runner 2049 and appreciate this shit. Do not let Dune flop. That's why I say y'all got till December.
Please.
Do not let Dune flop.
Yeah, and it's funny. I'm glad you mentioned that. I know it's funny. People, and it's not an original movie. It's technically a sequel. But, when somebody goes out and they're trying to make something, I guess, what can you call it, daring or different, people reject it.
Yeah.
Because we talked off mic about this mentality of this franchise mentality that the MCU, Marvel Studios has invented. And there's a lot of other, early 2000s, we got the young adult movies, Hunger Games, Divergent, Maze Runner, everything is a franchise.
Thank you, Harry Potter.
Yeah, Harry Potter even, and we started getting subliminally programmed to only accept such in these original movies. But yeah, like you said, we got to support filmmakers like Disney, and I hope they do that with Dune whenever it comes out. But all right, so moving along. So this one, I got 2 right here for this spot, and I'm gonna scratch off one. And all right, so scratching off that one. So my next movie is Get Out.
I never thought this would be the decade we had the most matches.
Well, wow. So, Get Out, which is a horror movie. I guess it will fall under the psychological horror genre. And out the gate,
I don't even drink tea anymore. No, I'm just playing.
And to go to, I'm gonna get to that. But Jordan Peele swinging out the gate. Remember when the trailer for this first came out? People thought it was a joke. from writer-director Jordan Peele.
It's been like 4 or 5 years. I'm not sure I remember the trailer to this.
Yeah.
I remember being hyped for Us because it was his follow-up. And now, like, thinking about it, I hope within, like, the next few months, maybe around Halloween, they start teasing his next movie. But, yeah, like...
But I ask you that because we had nothing to measure this against. It was his film debut.
Yeah.
The only way we knew Jordan Peele was as a knucklehead comedian, a comic actor. And then all of a sudden, I remember watching this trailer. I'm like, what's the angle? What's the catch? Is it a parody?
Yeah.
And, it was a straight trailer. I'm like, okay, I think he actually made him a legit thriller.
Yeah.
And sure enough,
I wish I could get back into that mindset of when this trailer came out now.
Yeah, I remember it vividly. I'm like, what is the catch? Jordan Peele.
Yeah. I just knew I wanted to see it. Like, yeah. I recognized Daniel Kaluuya from Sicario. Mm-hmm. So, like, I was in.
Yeah, but, and sure enough, he made a hell of a movie. And I mentioned, you mentioned Pulp Fiction. And I mentioned nuanced movies, layered movies, where you notice something different every time.
Yeah, this is one of those.
Yeah, definitely. And but I'm gonna move along because this movie might or might not be on your list. So my first movie, well, not first movie, but movie I throw in there is definitely is Drive with Nicholas Winding Refn, Ryan Gosling starring movie. And I think this movie is one of the best character studies of the 2010s. And I think every movie I named got some type of snub in it. Maybe, except for Get Out. Who's my boy? Albert Brooks.
Yeah.
Another actor known for his more comedic presence turns in a really kind of scary role.
He was like the big boss behind everything, right?
Yeah. And it's a very people get Ryan Gosling crap for his acting style, but people even go as far as say he's not a good actor. That's BS. Watch this.
Yeah, like from the damn Mickey Mouse Club to Remember the Titans. To like those little crime thriller joints, like Murder by Numbers, and then The Notebook, bro. It's like you wanna talk about Ryan Gosling acting. Buddy made Crazy Stupid Love and Drive in the same year,
right? Two
completely different performances,
right? So yeah, I don't know where that comes from. I'm glad you said those. Those are a great example, especially I wish he would do more movies like Crazy Stupid Love.
Yeah, for sure.
Like a more straight comedic roles.
But like, yeah. And he's doing, like, it was, I don't know if you've seen it. It was recently announced a few days ago. He got another astronaut movie he doing, directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller. He gonna have to be funny. He gonna have to be funny.
And I think he definitely do it.
Yeah.
No, definitely. So that's my list for 2010.
And then The Place Beyond the Pines.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's so many, and you said Blade Runner, man. There's so many dope movies that I can vouch that Ryan Gosling can act, man.
Yeah, that's, I don't know a lot of people say that crap, and
that's so underrated, that movie.
Yeah.
My 2010s, though, I'm going to knock this out because we pushing 2 hours. This is going to be my all-time longest podcast. But, my first 2010s movie is Wolf of Wall Street. Again, like, Scorsese's arguably most underrated. Great performance from DiCaprio. Great performance from Jonah Hill, and Margot put Margot Robbie on the map. Like, she's damn near a megastar now because of this movie.
Oh yeah.
And then like it's one of those like crime comedy, just like so bananas that you can't believe like it really happened.
Right.
Next, I got Inception, and
yes.
I was gonna say, like, full disclosure, when we did like our favorite movies of the 2010s back in January, these ain't gonna match.
Yeah.
Like Inception is just like a mind fuck. that like you gotta fall asleep and have a dream, and then have a dream in that dream, and then have a dream in that dream, and then have a dream in that dream, because that's where your deepest, darkest secret is. And then we gonna take that shit, get into your head, and we gonna rob you.
Yeah.
Like this was like if Christopher Nolan was gonna make a dope movie in between two Batman movies, this was it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Joseph Gordon-Levitt kind of broke out in this, and it's again like Tom Hardy definitely broke out in this.
Yeah.
But it's like the cast is crazy though, like Michael Caine, Ellen Page, Cillian Murphy, Ken Watanabe, Marion Cotillard.
Yeah.
And then next,
like half of those actors were in The Dark Knight Rises.
Exactly.
Not all of it in your name.
Exactly. After that, I put Get Out again for like the detail, the story, Jordan Peele directorial debut.
Mm-hmm.
And then second to last, I put Creed, because it's like you got Robbie. Like I'm saying, like if a bunch of like alien looking people with webbed feet digging up my time capsule, hey Rocky, oh that shit was good. I want him to see Creed.
There you go. Yeah, that's good bookend.
Yep. And this is like this is like kind of made Michael B. Jordan a megastar. It like if you hadn't seen Fruitvale Station, Creed made you take notice of Ryan Coogler.
Yeah.
Tessa Thompson, Stallone. You want to talk about snubs? And then it's again like it's one of my all-time favorite boxing movies. And it lasts again like I said, Spider-Man, like I said, Iron Man. The Avengers, like I like Infinity War and Endgame more than the original Avengers, but again, it's like the most minute of decimal points, percentages. The Avengers was an event. If Iron Man didn't work, there's no Avengers. If the Avengers didn't work, there's no Endgame. And it's bringing all these characters together, the story flowing, and like that's what I thought was dope. Like every introduction to these characters had their own team and had their own writers and directors and all of that. You bring them together. Joss Whedon is doing the Avengers on his own, and he's seen all of this, collaborating, but still making his own. That's what's up. Like my mail just popped all up into my shot. But like it was the perfect payoff and culmination of Phase 1, and then like they wanted to force too much on him in Ultron. Yeah, like you're definitely right that I know it's been mentioned in on past episodes. I completely just brain farted. People forget how important Joss Whedon was to making Phase 1 and even the Avengers period just working. Like the humor and like you could tell like the style, like the look of the first Avengers looked nothing like any other Phase 1 movie. The humor was better and more effective than any other Phase 1 movie. And it kind of like set the template for what Kevin Feige and Marvel would do going forward. So yeah, like the first Avengers movie is just special.
Yep, that's a perfect way to put it.
I think because we done took 2 hours talking about movies, I'm gonna end up with like a 4-hour podcast. I can't wait to edit this shit. I think next, like 2.5 months ago already, we was already talking about what actors have like the best collection of directors that they worked with, and I wanted to make that a podcast topic for so long. I think we gonna do that shit in 2 weeks. When I get back, there might be some Last Dance talk, there might be some NFL draft talk, but this is Rec League Podcast, and stay tuned, bruh. And we back, man. We back, but full disclosure, man, like I have nothing for sports because I was gonna bring on Orlando. Like I told you, I love Top. He had his internet connection issues and all of that. We just couldn't make it happen. So I think, I mean, like the biggest story in sports right now is this Last Dance documentary, and it's dope. But like I don't really want to go into it. Like the memes are gold, like you know what I'm saying. But I don't really want to go into it till it's complete. And by the time this show even gets uploaded, by the time this episode is even complete, it'll be done. So we'll talk about it next episode. And other than that, I was gonna talk about the NFL draft with Orlando, but I mean, me myself, I really dig the Colts draft class, and I hope the receivers can show out. I hope they get PT, the running back, um, and then like once Phillip Rivers is done with the Colts, I hope Eason is the man and has like I hope he has like this like learning this Aaron Rodgers under Brett Favre learning experience so he can come in and lead the Colts to greatness. But I mean, other than that, like I hope the draft picks that are where we're hyped actually have successful careers, man. Like I hope the Bengals have a system that Joe Burrow can thrive in. I hope Tua is good in Miami, etc. Jordan Love. Like I don't want Aaron Rodgers to get pushed out of Green Bay, but I hope when Jordan Love is called upon that he can thrive. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, man. So like that's sports for this episode. Like we'll go way more in depth next episode. Um, when I get back, man, I got bars, and then after that, I got JonConnor and Old Man Lawrence. So stay tuned, man. Stay tuned. Like we just getting into the thick of this rec league thing this week, man. Yo, Rec League getting this motherfucking and we acting reckless. Let me know what the record is, cause we about to wreck it. Hungry on this microphone and didn't eat no breakfast. Eyes applied the coat check and we about to take the necklace. Rappers out here sweet like Richard Simmons is, now send them to the dentist. Swollen cheeks was pulling teeth and we ain't even close to finish. Oh dog, I'm a menace. The flow dog make them grimace. So long when I end this and I didn't pin this. I was rhyming while driving. Forgot a lot of what I wanted to say and now I'm on the verge of crying. I hope bars, you an abomination. Javon is waiting. And Jake got the killer shit like you been watching Jason. The proclamation is that I'm the boogeyman, Freddy Krueger dude that you think about. Sleeping on me get you deaded cause you don't wake up after I'm the one you dream about. And now, man, last segment for this episode, Rec League Podcast. I had to download the Zoom just to make sure we got this right because Skype wasn't clicking. On the guest of honor, man, JonConnor, the Skype wasn't clicking. So we had to download the Zoom, man. John, like long time fan, man. I appreciate you taking the time to chop it up with us. Got Old Man Lawrence with me as usual.
Love, man. Absolutely, man. Well, it's a pleasure to be on your podcast and y'all sharing your platform with me to talk about the music and chop it up, man. I'm humbled and grateful, man. Thank you.
Yes, man.
All love. Appreciate it.
I was going back and forth with your manager. I'm pretty sure it was Mateen Cleaves. I know you got two managers. But yeah, like y'all real humble. He told me y'all ain't with the Hollywood shit, and again, like it's more than appreciated, man.
It's love, man. Yeah, that's how we get down, man. We from Flint, like that's the furthest thing from having our noses in the air or being on some too much. We ain't come up like that, man.
Yes, man. Yes, real. Like I said before we hit record, I got about 7 questions. Jake got 4, so like I'll throw it back and forth and we'll intersplice them in. Just right off the top, man, I want to talk about SOS, man. Like what influenced the album? I know you did a majority of the production, damn near all of it. What inspired some of the songs and just like the album making process is just what I want to know about.
I think just my journey, period. Every album I do is kind of like a time capsule for where I'm at mentally and spiritually at that time. And SOS wasn't no different. I think that, SOS was just the culmination of everything that I had went through in the time period that, summing up my underground years and then my years being signed to a major label and just talking about just the transformation and evolution of just me as a human being, like is what SOS is. And it's just, I guess just to sum it up, it's basically just a collection of songs that fully express where I'm at right now, how I feel about the world right now, the way I think about things right now. So I think that was the creation process of SOS, just trying to sum up how I feel or my perspective about the way things are right now.
Yeah, cause like I said off wax, like I forgot what I wanted to say and stepped on my own toes. Like I was bumping, like I was sitting probably Indian style in my living room floor like 10 years ago. Sway was talking to Young Jeezy maybe about um maybe TM103 something, and then you came on just spitting. And I don't know if you remember that, man, but I've been a fan ever since, man. Jake know me and my wife took a road trip up to Indianapolis for the Colts Cowboys game, and I was putting it on to.
Connection going on my end.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Yeah, it was cutting in and out.
Yeah, you're chopping up.
It might be my connection.
I can hear you great, but Randy, I can't. Your joint was going in and
out. We just got to process through it. It's the internet connection. I'm in Texas and he's in Indy, man. Y'all got that Midwest. So
okay, it's good.
Yeah, you're good now. We got you back now, man.
Okay, I was just talking about Jeezy. Sway was interviewing Jeezy, I think maybe about TM103, one of the albums that he dropped around that time, and you came on and you spit a verse, and I've been a fan ever since, because it was just that real shit. And I was taking a road trip with my wife, Jake knows, up to the Colts Cowboys game maybe like 10 years ago, and I was putting her on to that
while ago,
yeah, that Aldous Snow where you flipped that Forgetting Sarah Marshall off of season 2, and and I've been singing your praises ever since, man. Like I love the Best in the World tapes, and like in this album, the SOS, man, you got like such diverse subject matter, man. Like you talk about relationships, people over reliance of social media, race relations, like you name it, like you touch on it, man, and it's like that's what's lacking in hip hop today, in my opinion.
Thank you so much, man.
And then
I know it's listening to the albums too, man. Like he said, you touch on a lot of social issues, and one of the repeating themes that I heard throughout the album was people wearing these masks. I kind of wanted to ask you, like, in terms of would you feel like people wearing their masks or like being their true self or being your fake self? Are you mostly talking social media when you say that people are wearing this mask?
I think for me, it's it doesn't even just have to be social media. Like, for example, right? Like growing up in Flint is it's a pretty tough place to live at, right?
Yeah, blue collar Midwest, yeah.
Yeah, but me, I've always been like a kind-hearted, like a big-hearted person, right? Yeah. But in order to survive in Flint, you have to adapt a certain persona to protect yourself so that you don't become vulnerable to the circumstances that surround you, right? So like, let's say if I like a girl, like I'm growing up in Flint, right? And I like a girl. Instead of me being able to tell the homies, hey man, I think I like this girl, because out of fear that you're gonna get clowned for it, that somebody gonna say, oh, you out here loving these hoes, you out here for, you know what I'm saying? Now I can't express myself the way that I truly would want to. Now I gotta say something around the homies like, I mean, she alright. You know what I'm saying? She alright is the mask. You're not being your real self. You're afraid of what people might say. You're afraid of what people might think. So I think social media heightened that. You know what I'm saying? But I think that just in general, in humanity, people, I don't feel like for the most part people are being who they really are out of fear of what people might say about their actual feelings and opinions. You know what I'm saying? Like they adopt this persona that helps them walk through this life, like, you know what I'm saying, because they're afraid of what people might say about who they really are. And I got to a point in my life was like, fuck that. If I want to say I love somebody, I love you. If I feel like if I cry at a fucking movie, I cry. Fuck it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't need to. I'm not trying to live up to whatever people's perception is of what it means to be whatever it is. I just want to be myself. I want to comfortably be be in my own skin and not have to portray something that I'm not to appease other people. And I think that for the most part, a lot of people do that. And social media, like I said, I think it heightens that. It allows people to hide under a mask or create this barrier between people and who they really are. And you can post whatever you want, and that's the perception of who you are, but that's not who you really are. You're not the cars. For the females, it's not you not shaking your ass all day and this and that. You're doing that to get attentions and to project a persona, but that's not really who you are. And most people are afraid to show people who they really are out of fear of being judged. And for me, that was the recurrent theme of SOS that I wanted to expose. That it's like, fuck that. Everybody take their mask off. Like, stop it. Stop acting like you don't have actual feelings. Stop acting like you don't love your mama and hug your mama. Stop acting like you ain't never had your heart broke before. Stop acting like you fucking ain't never tried something and failed and had your confidence fucked up. Like, no, stop it. Embrace your flaws. Like, embrace that shit, because it's like talking about your flaws and expressing your journey that will inspire somebody else to step out and be comfortable with being themselves. But if everybody just acting like there's something that they're not, then we all fucked. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, yo, just be who you are at the end of the day.
Dropping knowledge.
It's almost like as a society we say what we think the other person wants to hear instead of being honest with ourselves. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah, I can see that, man. That's real dope. You touch on the Instagram models a lot too. You said something about just because you take a lot of pictures and post them on Instagram, it don't make you a model.
Right.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of young ladies out there that are reaching, trying to make this limelight.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of heartbreaking to see.
Just with you bringing that up, bro, I think that's sad. I think there's so much, more depth to a woman than just what she physically looks like.
Exactly.
Some of the most intelligent people I've ever met are women. Like, advice, I go to women more times than that. Not, you know what I'm saying, to talk about certain things. That it's so much more to appreciate about a woman, like, you know what I'm saying, than to just classify and throw all women in this fucking box of tits and ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it hurts me at times that society has made women feel like to be accepted, that's what they have to do. You know what I mean? That they can't be accepted or appreciated if they're not showing it all or bearing it all. It's kind of silly to me. So that's why with songs like Beautiful, I wanted to appreciate women. It's like, yo, y'all are more than that. You so much more than how big your tits and ass are. And it's like, I just want to, as a man, let them know that there's men out there that appreciate the other aspects about them than just the physical.
Yes.
Yep. For sure.
But next, I wanted to ask, were there any features that you were trying to get that just maybe didn't happen for whatever reason?
For me, nah, because I let features happen organically, and they have to fit into wherever I was going with the record already. Like, I've said this in a couple other interviews that I've never been that clout chaser type dude. I honestly love creating by myself.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't just think like that. I don't make a beat and then think, yo, I need to get such and such on this. It's like, I'm just trying to express myself, and then if along the way organically a feature happens, then that's cool, but I don't really go out of my way to chase features like that. So every feature that I wanted for SOS happened. Oh, except for me and Royce laughed about it. Royce was supposed to be on SOS, but it's a JonConnor feature coming in the future. But that's probably the only one that didn't happen. And like, me and him talked about it, so like, it's all love. And that's my brother.
Yeah, that would have been a fire.
Man,
sure.
The name of his album that he just came out with escapes me. Like, was there conversations about you getting on his?
Oh, what, the Allegory?
The Allegory, that's it.
Yeah, it was already done. Like,
okay.
We linked back up, and he played it for me before it came out, bro. And it was like, I was just blown away. And like I say, man, that's the big homie. That's my dog. It was like, I was humbled and honored that, you know what I'm saying, he played it for me before it came out, and I'm sitting there like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So, me and Royce's relationship is one that we gonna be dogs for life, and that's my big bro for life. So it's like, doing music together is just a cherry on top of it. We don't stress it like that, because it's like, we fuck with each other for real. We not just like rap friends.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? If we just call each other when we need features or something
that
like
Michigan.
that, or when I need to feature or something like that, it's like we really cool. And if we happen to make music together along the way, then that's just a bonus.
And then, like, if I'm not mistaken,
That's dope to hear.
like, speaking of features, like, one of my favorite bars of the features was "Light Up a Square Like Billie Jean," and that was Roy's brother, Kid Vicious, right?
Yeah, he killed that.
Yeah.
Vish killed that. Oh man, he killed that. Yes.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite feature on the whole album.
Nice.
There's quite a bit of features.
Yeah, man. Vish with the Billie Jean line. I love when Daylight said, "Go, I do you bad." You know what I'm saying? It was like that line was hard to me. It was so many dope lines, man. Everybody on the cypher killed it. Shouts to Chris Webby, Terminology, Ace Cabana, Afro, Fire from Sister Tour, Kid Vicious. I ain't forgetting nobody, did I? I don't think so.
Let me see, I got the track list up right here.
I think you got everybody. Yeah, I got it pulled up right here.
Yeah, Ace Cabana, Craig Owens, DJ Paul, Locksmith.
Yes.
So, is there one track on this album that stood out as one that you like kind of like poured your heart into, poured your soul into? Like you really, if people took away one thing from this album, like you wanted to be this song or this message?
Yeah, the intro with Kelly Price.
And how it rolls right into thank you.
Yeah.
For me, that because as a producer, it felt good to be able to create a piece of music that I don't know necessarily that people would expect from me, being as how, I guess I'm known for like spitting and bars and stuff like that. And so as a producer, it made me feel good to be able to create a piece of music like Thank You that is, not just a hip hop record. It's just a feel-good record that got a gospel feel to it. And for my sister Kelly Price to trust me enough to jump on the joint and kill it the way that she did, that I'm really proud of that joint. And then I feel like it fully embodies how grateful I am just for life to be back giving people my art. It's like she, in the soul of her voice and how she delivered the vocals on Thank You, it was like if I could sing, like she did it. Like that's how I would have did it. If there was a way that I could encompass everything that I feel or felt throughout this whole journey, Kelly Price did it on the intro and the musicianship of the intro. Like I'm so proud of that record because it fully embodied how I feel.
Yeah, and then it goes right into the song Thank You. Man, I gotta be honest, man. It's like tracks like 1 through I want to say like 7, 8, all the way up to maybe 8 or 9. Man, it's just. The album just starts off hot.
Yeah.
And I thank you. It's set the whole tone for the album, in my opinion. So that was real dope. And like you shout out the fans who kind of stuck with you throughout this tumultuous ride or whatever that you've been on. That was a super dope song, man. I honestly, I'm not saying this because you're here right now, but that's how you start an album right there.
Thank you.
You get your message across. You set the tone for the album. Say what you gotta say, and then after that, like you go straight into the flow, man. That was a real dope intro for sure.
Yeah,
and then the very next track, Vehicle City. My bad, I'm not trying to cut you off, Randy, but
are you good?
You got Clarissa Shields on there, right?
Yeah.
The fastest 3-weight champ in the fewest fights in boxing history, Clarissa Shields, straight out of Flint, Michigan. When I heard her on there, that was super dope because I knew right away who it was. As soon as I heard it, I was like, damn, is that Clarissa Shields? I had to look it up. I was like, it is.
Yes.
That was super dope for you to throw her on there, man.
Man, shouts to my sister Clarissa Shields, the greatest of all time. Like, you know what I'm saying? The greatest, the quote, man. Shouts to my sister Clarissa Shields, man. It's like, it was super cool. The story behind Vehicle City is, I originally was gonna name that song Clarissa Shields, right?
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it's a little inside joke with me and her why I ended up calling it Vehicle City. But I think that it's really cool because, our generation of Flint people that's in the entertainment business, me, Clarissa, Andre, Anthony Durrell, like, you know what I'm saying? Just all of us, we stick together and we rock with each other, and anything that we do, we always make sure we put each other on and rep for each other. We took notice of how Atlanta always sticks together, how the South always sticks together as far as within hip-hop or show business, or you just see different regions sticking together. And I think it's important for us as Flint people to big each other up. There's not a lot of people in the entertainment business that are from Flint. So it's like, that's why we hold each other down and rep for each other so hard, because it's like, if we don't do it, then the rest of the entertainment business won't do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we hold each other down and we big each other up, and it's a genuine love. Like, and love to the OGs, like my brother Mateen Cleaves and my big bro Terry Crews, and you know what I'm saying? Just all of the people that came and paved the way for us to do what we do. And I think that it's really, really dope that it's we always show our unity and solidarity. Like, you know what I'm saying? No matter what it is, we gonna always stick together being from the crib. So, sis, Clarissa, if you watch this, I love you, girl. That's what's up, man.
Yeah, like, I wanted to highlight like specific bars. I don't want to say you was getting on my nerves or nothing, but it's like, man, that line was dope. That line was dope. Then it turned into like this whole verse. This whole track is dope, and that man, that just highlights the lyricism, man.
Thank you.
And speaking of bars, I was curious, like, since you started rapping from Deuce O to JonConnor, have you ever had like bars like in your back pocket on the phone stashed away? And then you heard another artist spit that bar, and then you had to scrap it. And then I want to instigate. I want to know who stole it.
Yeah, man, that has happened to me before, but I can't remember. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't, but I definitely know. It was that I might have wanted to sample something. Man. Sure. But yeah, I'm sure it has probably happened before. I can't think of nothing offhand though.
Okay. And then, Jake, you got one you want to throw in?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it back a little bit more of your influence from just in general in hip hop. I was curious, like, what's your youngest childhood memory of hip hop? Because I look back, like, I was born in '86. I think you were born in '85, right? So we're all the same age group right here. Yeah, so I grew up with an older brother. So like Bone Thugs and Harmony is what I grew up on. Like Biggie, of course, you know, Pac. You know, we grew up in the Midwest or whatever, so most of our exposure to hip hop was whatever was on the radio.
Right.
So I'm just curious, what was your earliest childhood memory with hip hop growing up?
My earliest memories of hip hop would be Born and Raised in Compton by DJ Quick and Ain't No Future in Your Frontin' by MC Breed and the movie House Party. Those would be my
House Party.
Yeah, sure. And yeah, those were the things that I feel like stick out in my head. But I can remember my sister watching Video Soul and Rap City, and I can remember my sister just watching, you know, Kool Moe Dee and Big Daddy Kane and MC Light and Positive K were in my crib a lot. Like these are Parents Just Don't Understand by Will Smith and Jazzy
Jeff. Will Smith, DJ Jazzy Jeff.
So whatever my big sister was listening to, my big sister is 6 years older than me. So all of my earliest hip hop came from her. And seeing what she was listening to. Like, dog, she had the Parents Just Don't Understand record, like, on vinyl. Like, that and Salt and Pepper Push It on vinyl, dog. Like, so those would be my earliest hip hop.
That's what's up, man. I remember back I had an older brother, too, and that's where most of my, I got introduced to hip hop the most. Like, No Limit back in the day was popping off, like, E40, album West Coast on down. But, man, I remember everything coming on a cassette tape.
Yeah.
Cassette tapes. Like, that's how we used to jam back in the day.
Yeah, dog. It's funny you brought up No Limit because that's, you know, I've said it often. I say it in every interview. No Limit was the biggest influence that made me want to rap. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was around hip hop music because my sister, as far as what made me actually be like, I want to do that, was Master P and No Limit. And shouts out to my big bro KLC from Beats by the Pound and Fiend and all the people from No Limit that I've been fortunate now in this point in my life to have relationships with. But I done told KL this a million times. I'm like, bro, the first beat I ever rapped to was a Beats by the Pound beat. I used to take, you mentioned the cassette tapes, I used to take remember when rap songs used to have long outros and like the instrumental would play for like a minute before the song went on. So I would like keep looping that over and over again because back in the day, for all the kids that's listening to this, so back in the day, there were CD players that also had a tape deck attached to it. So on these radios that had the CD and tape deck, you could record what was happening on the CD onto the cassette tape. So what I would do is I would keep rewinding the CD, and then I would stop and start and make my instrumentals out of the ends of these records. So that's what I would do to these No Limit songs. So I guess I was kind of doing mixtapes before I even knew it, man. But that was my first, influence as far as like I want to rap. It was No Limit and me making instrumentals out of the end of out of the end of their records, man.
Well, but we need that best in the world, No Limit.
Yeah, bro, I could talk No Limit all day. Y'all don't get me started, man. For real.
I know on the album you said it's all love with Dre, so I wanted to ask, like if you willing to tell us, like what's some of your favorite memories just being around Dr. Dre and Aftermath and all of that, your time spent with them.
So I'm laughing because it's probably not gonna even be nothing music. It's probably just gonna be something that happened, like just little stuff, like watching him and my man JT play ping pong, and you know what I'm saying, like just I'll give you one. Me and Dre playing Speed. Have y'all ever played the card game Speed before?
Yeah,
I don't think I have.
Yeah, I remember playing it all the time.
Dog, that's my greatest memories is times like that. While we was working on the Compton album, me and Dre playing Speed while they mixing in the other room, and just good times like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was so cool that during the 5 years that I was on Aftermath, we formed like a friendship and a bond that, you know what I'm saying, is some of the most priceless times in my life. So
that's
my
dope.
memories of just that, always look back at times like that where it was fun and having laughs, and on the low, Dre low key super duper funny dude. So it was like times like that, man.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that, man, because I was riding around today, just playing, having music on shuffle or whatever, and that Compton album actually popped up and it played that game song just another day.
That shit was hard.
Yeah, I was like, damn, I actually forgot about this Compton album to be real.
Yeah.
And it's ironic, like here we are today, like you being on that album, man. It's kind of crazy how the world works like that. It just completely random. That game song popped up on shuffle. I was like, damn, this shit is so hard.
Yeah, man, that was good times, man. Like good times for the love of money, one shot, one kill. It was fun, man.
And then let me see. You pointed out my hat. You a wrestling fan. You the people's rapper.
Yes.
And that's got to be influenced by The Rock, the people's champ.
Yes, sir.
So I wanted to ask, like, what's your favorite movie that The Rock's done since he like officially became an actor?
I think what's the movie that he did with Sean William Scott?
The Rundown.
I like The Rundown.
I just watched that joint a couple weeks ago, man. That's so underrated.
Yeah, I like The Rundown. The Rundown was hard. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, yeah, it is, because I feel like that was still at that point where The Rock was trying to plant his
feet in
Hollywood, right? So it wasn't like no huge expectations, and I feel like it was just more natural, organic. Yeah. I feel like there's so much expectations on his movies now that, you know what I'm saying? They are. I dig them, but I feel like during that time period after Scorpion King, and then when he did like Walking Tall, and you know what I'm saying? I feel like when he was still finding his niche, I think that's the those probably are the times that artists are at their best, when they trying to figure it out and plant their feet. You know what I'm saying? So I love that movie, man.
His performance in Be Cool is so underrated.
Like everything The Rock does has to be a big blockbuster.
Yeah, and like that was right.
Yeah, that was like one of those movies that it just seemed organic.
Yeah, it was organically good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, like really now it's like the fucking, every time The Rock do a movie, it's the #1 movie in America. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like, it's like now there's so much expectations, and it's got to be, like you said, this big, huge blockbuster. But at that time, it was just organically good. I digress, dog. I'm an Aries, so sometimes I jump from topic to topic. But y'all got me started on this. It's like Eddie Murphy, right? I love Eddie Murphy.
It's all good.
But it's like the difference between Beverly Hills Cop 1 and Beverly Hills Cop 2. It was like Beverly Hills Cop 1 was just good. It was organically a good movie. Beverly Hills Cop 2 and 3, I feel like they was trying too hard.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, you know what I mean? Now you're trying to make this big action pack. It's like, but the first one was just good because it was good.
Yeah.
And they're about to. And speaking of Eddie Murphy, aren't they about to do the Coming to America like sequel or something?
I can't wait for that.
Supposedly it come out in December.
Let's see.
Supposedly it come out in December.
But you know, Eddie Murphy is one of the greatest of all time. So you know what I'm saying, like that don't never go away. So I can't wait to see it.
And then it's kind of a double layer question. Sticking with The Rock, like if you had to choose from like his movies or like Ballers or like the Titan games, like what would you pick?
Never got a chance to get deep into Ballers, but I always heard that it was really good. So I don't know if I'm qualified to answer the question because I never watched Ballers. So my answer would be really generic.
Hey, man, then as a favor to me, man, you got to check out Ballers. It's 5 seasons, it's done, and it is good.
That's what I heard. I always heard that it was super good because I was a big fan of the Entourage. And I heard that it was like Entourage, but like on another level.
Kind of.
Yeah, TV show. Man, I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's hard for me to follow a TV show. I usually get about 1 or 2 seasons in, and it's hard to keep on. I haven't heard good things about Ballers. So.
Yeah.
It's like it's.
Speaking of that, let's just kind of piggyback off that. TV shows, movies. You know, we're in this quarantine, this lockdown, or whatever. Outside of music, like what have you been doing most to keep yourself occupied during the quarantine?
Okay, so it's gonna be crazy, bro. All I've been doing is like music related stuff though, but I've been for whatever reason watching not the version with Ludacris, not like the reboot, like you know what I'm saying, but like the old joint with Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Like dog.
Okay.
When I'm in the lab creating, I be having Fear Factor on the TVs and shit, and I'm like, man, the shit people do for money is.
Yeah, that's random shit, but I love it.
Yeah,
that's so good. That's so good.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Facts,
Again, sticking with wrestling, kind of piggybacking around the same area. Have you been keeping up with WWE since the pandemic started? They've been going without crowds and still having their pay-per-views and all of their content and stuff. And what you think about it?
And see, man, you know what? It's been hard for me to keep up with it because watching empty arena shows just reminds me of what we going through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I want to escape. So here's the thing: I've been watching so much old school WWE. Like right now on the TV behind me, I got Survivor Series '89. Like I got Survivor Series '89 queued up right now.
Took you back.
Like, I'm a big fan of AEW as well. Like you know what I'm saying, and I haven't. It's just something about watching them empty arena shows that for me it's like, dog, it's just reminding me that the world is in such a crazy time right now, and I kind of just be wanting to escape and go back to a better place. So I just been watching a lot of old school wrestling.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Yeah, for sure. Jake, do you have any questions? Any more questions?
Yeah. I got a couple questions, man. But mine is more like the artistic process, man.
Sure.
I want to kind of dig into like what makes you tick as an artist, like what drives you. And my question would probably be like, what's the hardest thing about chasing your dream? Not only chasing your dream, but not giving up on your dream. Like, what's the hardest part about that?
Okay, that was a two-parter. So the first part of the question was artistically what drives me, like in the studio. Yeah. Okay, just the feeling, man. I feel like music is a part of everything we do. Whether you watch TV, whether you watch movies, whether when you're happy you listen to music, when you're sad you listen to music, when you have a breakup you listen to music. So it's like I just be trying to embody whatever the spirit is of whatever feeling I'm trying to convey at that moment. Like that's what drives me. It's like I want to help people. I want when people listen to my music, it helps them through whatever they're going through. If they, having a good day, they can turn on a JonConnor song. If they're having a bad day, they can put on something that inspires them and influences them to kind of be optimistic and see the glass as half full. So that's what drives me. It's just that I just want to do my part. I feel like all of us as human beings, we all got different gifts. And I think that we all supposed to use our gifts for the greater good. So it's like, if I'm a musician, that's what drives me is to, make sure I'm using this gift that was given to me for the greater good of whoever hears it. So that's what drives me, whether I'm producing, whether I'm rapping, whatever it is. I always want to make sure that my words mean something that can help somebody. And I always want to make sure that the music that I create puts people in a good space. And so the next thing, the second part of your question was, what was the second part of it?
Like, what's the hardest part about chasing your dream? I mean, everybody knows the grind. You got to have the work ethic. But other than that, like, what's the hardest part about chasing your dream and not giving up on it?
The hardest part about chasing your dream is that it's a dream, and you're the only person that can see it. So when you're doing what you're doing, there's so many people that don't see what you see that try to stop you from doing what you're doing. And they try to stop you from achieving your dream because it's not their dream. They can't see it. They can't possibly, identify with the moves that you making or why you doing certain things. And that's the hardest thing. Is like even when people that are close to you, they think that they're giving you good advice or they're trying to look out for you, but it's like they're actually hurting you and hindering you because they can't see your dream. And so the thing is that what people have to remember is your dream is yours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not for anybody else. I think I seen LeBron James say, to succeed at anything, your belief in yourself has to be 10 times greater than everybody else's in the room disbelief in you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that will probably be the hardest thing, is that you not only have to believe in yourself, you have to believe in yourself more than everybody else doesn't believe in you. So that probably is the most difficult thing, to just keep having that faith in yourself and keep reassuring yourself that I'm going on the path that I'm supposed to travel on, because this is the path that was strictly meant for me. Nobody knows what your path is supposed to be. Not your mom, not your dad, not your auntie, your cousins, your homies, your girlfriend. None of them. You. The voice of intuition inside of you has to be what speaks the loudest. And sometimes the hardest thing is blocking out all the other people and all of the noise that surrounds you.
Dropping knowledge.
Real shit, yeah.
Appreciate it.
My last question, like Jake stole my last question. It was what you doing to keep busy during the pandemic. So you said you record, and you got any new projects you can announce or anything? Anything you want to plug?
Absolutely, man. So SOS is out now. We're about to start dropping visuals from SOS. We're gonna drop the beautiful video. We're gonna drop the video for Black, the video for Morning Motivation, and also coming along with that, we did a 5-part docuseries called The Road to Legendary. And it tells my entire story from when I was in high school, my underground years, my time at Aftermath, then leaving Aftermath and starting All Varsity Music Group. And it's kind of like now the people are joining my story already in progress. Like, so for the people that's just getting turned on to me, it brings them up to speed. And then for the people that's been fans of mine, it kind of tells the story of my whole existence from even before people ever heard about me. So that's coming out. Probably we're going to start dropping episodes for The Road to Legendary probably like the end of next month. After that, my artist Ace Cabana, first artist to drop other than me on All Varsity Music Group. I produced this project from top to bottom, and me and Mo Cleves and the whole team, we excited about Ace's project. It's like, yo, if y'all musically like SOS, y'all gonna love Ace's project. He's a completely different artist than I am, but it was cool for me as a producer to step into somebody else's world and try to make their vision come to life musically. And I think he created a beautiful project. The name of it is Moonwater. It'll probably be dropping mid to late August. And then after that, I got some best in the world tapes. If people want them, I'm probably gonna throw out in the meantime. And also SOS 2.
You know we want them.
Oh, it's on, man. And then SOS 2 is probably gonna come at the end of the year, probably October, November.
Man, I want to ask what best in the world is coming, man, but I want to be surprised.
It's love. Yeah, no, it's on. One of them is already done and ready to go, and then the other one I'm working on now.
I got a new laptop and lost all my music, and I was downloading your tapes looking for them. I can't find a Kanye tape anywhere.
Yeah, that's what people be telling me. I don't know, man. That's why we didn't even know if I was still going to do Best in the World tapes, because people were telling me that they couldn't find it nowhere. So I don't even know how that works anymore. We're doing mixtape joints over other people's joints, but I'm going to give them to y'all because people been asking me about them, and so I enjoy doing them. So if they get snatched off the internet, then cool. At least y'all got them while they're there, man.
If I can plant some seeds, Tupac, Nas, Luda, I mean, I had like multiple like best in the world dream tapes in my head, and that's just a couple.
It's on. We gonna make them happen, man.
Yeah, I love them tapes, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So personally, I want to ask you one last question before we get up off here. It's kind of like a personal question again. What legacy do you envision yourself having on hip hop or leaving on hip hop, the game in general? What would your ideal legacy be?
Man, just he was a good dude, and the same person that you thought you knew from listening to the music was the exact same person that you met when you met him in person. That's it. That he was just a good dude who was the same person he was in the music, and that's it. And that's it. Like that, just a good dude. That's it. Anything else that people give me or say about me, is, I'm happy that I could be whatever I need to be for them. But for me, man, it's like, long as they be like, he was a cool dude and he made some pretty cool rap songs and he made some good music, and you know what I'm saying, he lived what he rapped about, and he always just tried to inspire and encourage people to do the right thing. That's it, man. That's it.
Shit,
That's, man.
That's mission already accomplished.
Shows, man. Like you're a humble dude. You're down to earth. You came on here. You know, no Hollywood shit. You did this little interview for his podcast for us, man. And even when you talk about it in the SOS album, man, like JonConnor don't wear no mask, man. You are who you say you are.
Exactly.
You are the man that is behind the music too, man. Much love for that. Much respect.
Thank you, man. Respect and love to y'all as well. Thank you, man.
Man, hopefully we got you some new fans just based off of this, off the audio, off the YouTube. You got your social media pages you want to plug where they can find you?
Absolutely, man. Y'all can find me on everything is at JonConnor Music. That's my Twitter. That's my Instagram. And then the YouTube channel is Connor Culture TV, which we're gonna have episodes of the. We got content coming on Connor Culture TV. That's gonna be pretty cool. So Connor Culture TV, All Varsity Music Group at JonConnor Music is my direct line. Y'all hit me, man.
Cool, man. Once again, like I said,
out now.
That SOS. Yeah, man. Once again, like, I appreciate you even replying to the DM. I appreciate you jumping on with us. I hope if y'all got reactions, favorite songs, favorite projects from JonConnor, man, drop it in the comments, hit the voice message. I hope y'all enjoyed episode 40, man. Everybody chill. Until the next episode.